In this video, let us discuss AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner, that is CLF-C02 previous exam questions. If you are new to my channel, subscribe for more practice questions with detailed explanation. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Before starting the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. A company has an Amazon EC2 instance in a private subnet. The company wants to initiate a connection to the internet to pull operating system updates while preventing traffic from the internet from accessing the EC2 instance. Which AWS Manager service allows this? Option A, VPC endpoint. Option B, NAT gateway. Option C, Amazon Private Link. Option D, VPC peering. The right answer is option B, NAT gateway. NAT gateways, AWS managed and NAT instances self-managed allow your instances in your private subnets to access the internet while remaining private. Next question. Which actions are the responsibility of AWS according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Choose two options. Option A, securing the virtualization layer. Option B, patching the operating system on Amazon EC2 instances. Option C, enforcing a strict password policy for IAM users. Option D, patching the operating system on Amazon RDS instances. Option E, configuring security groups and network ACLs. The right options are option A and option D. Next question. A company needs to use third-party software for its workload on AWS. Which AWS service or feature can the company use to purchase the software? Option A, AWS Resource Access Manager. Option B, AWS Manager Services. Option C, AWS License Manager. Option D, AWS Marketplace. The correct answer is option D, AWS Marketplace. Next question. A company needs to centrally configure and manage Amazon VPC security groups across multiple AWS accounts within an organization in AWS organizations. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Firewall Manager. Option B, Amazon Guard Duty. Option C, Amazon Detective. Option D, AWS Web Application Firewall. The correct answer is option A, AWS Firewall Manager. Next question. A company needs fully managed, highly reliable, and scalable file storage that is accessible over the server message block, that is SMB protocol. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A, Amazon S3. Option B, Amazon Elastic File System. Option C, Amazon FSx for Windows File Server. Option D, Amazon Elastic Block Store. The correct answer is option C, Amazon FSx for Windows File Server. Next question. Which task is a responsibility of AWS according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A, configure identity and access management for applications. Option B, manage encryption options for data that is stored on AWS. Option C, configure security groups for Amazon EC2 instances. Option D, maintain the physical hardware of the infrastructure. The correct answer is option D, maintain the physical hardware of the infrastructure. Next question. A company needs a content delivery network that provides secure delivery of data, videos, applications, and APIs to users globally with low latency and high transfer speeds. Which AWS service meets these requirements? Option A, Amazon CloudFront. Option B, Elastic Load Balancing. Option C, Amazon S3. Option D, Amazon Elastic Transcoder. The correct answer is option A, Amazon CloudFront. Next question. A user has limited knowledge of AWS services but wants to quickly deploy a scalable Node.js application in the AWS cloud. Which service should be used to deploy the application? Option A, AWS CloudFormation. Option B, AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Option C, Amazon EC2. Option D, AWS OpsWorks. The correct answer is option B, AWS Elastic Beanstalk is an easy-to-use service for deploying and scaling web applications and services developed with Java, .NET, PHP, Node.js, Python, Ruby, Go, and Docker on familiar servers such as Apache, Passenger, and Internet Information Services. Next question. A company hosts an application on multiple Amazon EC2 instances. The application uses Amazon Simple Notification Service to send messages. Which AWS service or feature will give the application permission to access required AWS services? Option A, AWS Certificate Manager. Option B, IAM roles. Option C, AWS Security Hub. Option D, Amazon Guard Duty. The correct answer is option B, IAM rules. IAM provides fine-grained access control across all of AWS. Next question. A company has a fleet of cargo ships. The cargo ships have sensors that collect data at sea where there is intermittent or no internet connectivity. The company needs to collect, format, and process the data at sea and move the data to AWS later. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Load Core. Option B, Amazon Lightsail. Option C, AWS Storage Gateway. Option D, AWS Snowball Edge. The correct answer is option D, AWS Snowball Edge. A company wants to migrate its database to a managed AWS service that is compatible with PostgreSQL. Which AWS services will meet these requirements? Choose two options. The options are option A, Amazon Athena. Option B, Amazon RDS. Option C, Amazon EC2. Option D, Amazon DynamoDB. Option E, Amazon Aurora. The correct options are option B and option E. Next question. Which AWS service or feature is a browser-based pre-authenticated service that can be launched directly from the AWS Management Console? Option A, AWS API. Option B, AWS Lightsail. Option C, AWS Cloud9. Option D, AWS Cloud Shell. The correct answer is option D, AWS Cloud Shell. Next question. A company is building an application that requires the ability to send, store, and receive messages between application components. The company has another requirement to process messages in first out order. Which AWS service should the company use? Option A, AWS Step Function. Option B, Amazon Simple Notification Service. Option C, Amazon Kinesis Data Streams. Option D, Amazon Simple Queue Service. The right answer is option D, Amazon SQS first out order queues. Preserve the order in which messages are sent and received, and avoid that a message is processed more than once. This ensures that the messages are processed in first out order. Next question. A company that uses AWS needs to transfer 2 TB of data. Which type of transfer of that data would result in no cost for the company? Option A, inbound data transfer from the internet. Option B, outbound data transfer to the internet. Option C, data transfer between AWS regions. Option D, data transfer between availability zones. The correct answer is option A, inbound data transfer from the internet. Next question. A company wants to create templates that the company can reuse to deploy multiple AWS resources. Which AWS service or feature can the company use to meet this requirement? Option A, AWS Marketplace. Option B, Amazon Machine Image. Option C, AWS CloudFormation. Option D, AWS OpsWorks. The right answer is option C, AWS CloudFormation. Next question. Which design principles support the reliability pillar of the AWS well-architected framework? Choose two options. Option A, perform operations as code. Option B, enable traceability. Option C, automatically scale to meet demand. Option D, deploy resources globally to improve response time. Option E, automatically recover from failure. The correct answer is, the right options are option C, automatically scale to meet demand. Option E, automatically recover from failure. Next question. A user needs to quickly deploy a non-relational database on AWS. The user does not want to manage the underlying hardware or the database software. Which AWS service can be used to accomplish this? Option A, Amazon RDS. Option B, Amazon DynamoDB. Option C, Amazon Aurora. Option D, Amazon Redshift. The correct answer is option B, Amazon DynamoDB. Next question. Which AWS service or feature can a company use to apply security rules to specific Amazon EC2 instances? Option A, Network ACLs. Option B, Security Groups. Option C, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option D, AWS Web Application Firewall. The right answer is option B, Security Groups. Next question. Which actions are examples of a company's effort to right-size its AWS resources to control cloud costs? Choose two options. Option A, switch from Amazon RDS to Amazon DynamoDB to accommodate NoSQL datasets. Option B, base the selection of Amazon EC2 instance types on past utilization patterns. Option C, use Amazon S3 lifecycle policies to move objects that users access infrequently to lower cost storage types. Option D, use multi-AZ deployments for Amazon RDS. Option E, replace existing Amazon EC2 instances with AWS Beanstalk. The right options are option B and option C. Next question. Which AWS services or features enable users to connect on-premises networks to a VPC? Choose two options. Option A, AWS VPN. Option B, Elastic Load Balancing. Option C, AWS Direct Connect. Option D, VPC peering. Option E, Amazon CloudFront. The right options are option A, AWS VPN. Option C, AWS Direct Connect. A company is moving an on-premises data center to the AWS cloud. The company must migrate 50 petabytes of file storage data to AWS with the least possible operational overhead. Which AWS service or resource should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Snowmobile. Option B, AWS Snowball Edge. Option C, AWS Data Exchange. Option D, AWS Database Migration Service. The correct answer is option A, AWS Snowmobile. Next question. Which actions are best practices for an AWS account root user? Choose two options. Option A, share root user credentials with team members. Option B, create multiple root users for the account separated by environment. Option C, enable multi-factor authentication on the root user. Option D, create an IAM user with administrative privileges for daily administrative tasks instead of using the root user. Option E, use programmatic access instead of the root user and password. The right options are option C and option D. Next question. Which task is a customer's responsibility according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A, management of the guest operating systems. Option B, maintenance of the configuration of infrastructure devices. Option C, management of the host operating systems and virtualization. Option D, maintenance of the software that powers availability zones. The correct answer is option A, management of the guest operating systems. Next question. A company wants to automatically add and remove Amazon EC2 instances. The company wants the EC2 instances to adjust to varying workloads dynamically. Which service or feature will meet these requirements? Option A, Amazon DynamoDB. Option B, Amazon EC2 Spot instances. Option C, AWS Snow Family. Option D, Amazon EC2 Auto Scaling. The correct answer is option D, Amazon EC2 Auto Scaling. Next question. A user wants to securely automate the management and rotation of credentials that are shared between applications while spending the least amount of time on managing tasks. Which AWS service or feature can be used to accomplish this? Option A, AWS Cloud HSM. Option B, AWS Key Management Service. Option C, AWS Secrets Manager. Option D, Server-Side Encryption. The right answer is Option C, AWS Secrets Manager. AWS Secrets Manager makes it easier to rotate, manage, and retrieve database credentials, API keys, and other secrets throughout their lifecycle. Let's move on to the next one. Which security service automatically recognizes and clarifies sensitive data or intellectual property on AWS? Option A, Amazon Guard Duty. Option B, Amazon Macy. Option C, Amazon Inspector. Option D, AWS Shield. The right answer is option B, Amazon Macy. Next question. Which AWS service helps users audit API activity across their AWS account? Option A, AWS CloudTrail. Option B, Amazon Inspector. Option C, AWS WAF. Option D, AWS Config. The right answer is option A, AWS CloudTrail. AWS CloudTrail, you can monitor your AWS deployments in the cloud by getting a history of AWS API calls for your account, including API calls made by using the AWS Management Console, the AWS SDKs, the command line tools, and higher level AWS services. You can also identify which users and accounts called AWS APIs for services that support CloudTrail, the source IP address from which the calls were made, and when the calls occurred, you can integrate CloudTrail into applications using the API, automate trial creation for your organization, check the status of your trials, and control how administrators turn CloudTrail logging on and off. Next question. Which of the following is a recommended design principle for AWS cloud architecture? Option A, design tightly coupled components. Option B, build a single application component that can handle all the application functionality. Option C, make large changes on fewer iterations to reduce chances of failure. Option D, avoid monolithic architecture by segmenting workloads. The right answer is option D, avoid monolithic architecture by segmenting workloads. Next question. A company wants to query its server logs to gain insights about its customer experiences. Which AWS service will store this data most cost effectively? The options are option A, Amazon Aurora. Option B, Amazon Elastic File System. Option C, Amazon Elastic Block Store. Option D, Amazon S3. The correct answer is option D, Amazon S3. Next question. A company has an application with robust hardware requirements. The application must be accessed by students who are using lightweight, low-cost laptops. Which AWS service will help the company deploy the application without investing in back-end infrastructure or high-end client hardware? The options are option A, Amazon AppStream 2.0. Option B, AWS AppSync. Option C, Amazon WorkLink. Option D, AWS Elastic Beanstalk. The right answer is option A, Amazon AppStream 2.0. Amazon AppStream 2.0 is a cloud-based desktop streaming service that allows companies to deploy applications and desktops to any device, including lightweight laptops. AppStream 2.0 handles all of the application's processing and graphics power, so students only need a web browser on their device. A company needs to graphically visualize AWS billing and usage over time. The company also needs information about its AWS monthly costs. Which AWS billing and cost management tool provides this data in a graphical format? Option A, AWS Bills. Option B, Cost Explorer. Option C, AWS Cost and Usage Report. Option D, AWS Budgets. The right answer is option B, Cost Explorer. Next question. A company's on-premises application deployment cycle was 3 to 4 weeks. After migrating to the AWS cloud, the company can deploy the application in 2 to 3 days. Which benefit has this company experienced by moving to the AWS cloud? Option A, elasticity. Option B, flexibility. Option C, agility. Option D, resilience. The right answer is option C, agility. Next question. Which of the following are included in AWS Enterprise Support? Choose two options. Option A, AWS Technical Account Manager. Option B, AWS Partner-led Support. Option C, AWS Professional Services. Option D, support of third-party software integration to AWS. Option E, 5-minute response time for critical issues. The correct options for this question is option A and option E. Next question. Which AWS service or feature can be used to create a private connection between an on-premises workload and an AWS cloud workload? Option A, Amazon Route 53. Option B, Amazon Messi. Option C, AWS Direct Connect. Option D, AWS Private Link. The correct answer is option C, AWS Direct Connect. Next question. A company has a single Amazon EC2 instance. The company wants to adopt a highly available architecture. What can the company do to meet this requirement? Option A, scale vertically to a larger EC2 instance size. Option B, scale horizontally across multiple availability zones. Option C, purchase an EC2 dedicated instance. Option D, change the EC2 instance family to a compute optimized instance. The right options are option B, scale horizontally across multiple availability zones. Next question. AWS has the ability to achieve lower pay-as-you-go pricing by aggregating usage across hundreds of thousands of users. This describes which advantage of the AWS cloud. Option A, launch globally in minutes. Option B, increase speed and agility. Option C, high economies of scale. Option D, no guessing about compute capacity. The right answer is option C, high economies of scale. Next question. Which of the following are advantages of the AWS cloud? Choose two options. Option A, AWS management of user-owned infrastructure. Option B, ability to quickly change required capacity. Option C, high economies of scale. Option D, increased deployment time to market. Option E, increased fixed expenses. The right options are option B, ability to quickly change required capacity, and option C, high economies of scale. Next question. Which of the following are features of network ACLs as they are used in the AWS cloud? Choose two options. Option A, they are stateless. Option B, they are stateful. Option C, they evaluate all rules before allowing traffic. Option D, they process rules in order, starting with the lowest numbered rule when deciding whether to allow traffic. Option E, they operate at the instance level. The right options are option A, they are stateless, and option D, they process rules in order, starting with the lowest numbered rule when deciding whether to allow traffic. Next question. Which tasks are the responsibility of AWS according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Choose two options. The options are option A, patch the Amazon EC2 guest operating system. Option B, upgrade the firmware of the network infrastructure. Option C, apply password rotation for IAM users. Option D, maintain the physical security of edge locations. Option E, maintain least privilege access to the root user account. The right options are option B and option D. Next question. A company is developing a mobile app that needs a high performance NoSQL database. Which AWS services could the company use for this database? Choose two options. Option A, Amazon Aurora. Option B, Amazon RDS. Option C, Amazon Redshift. Option D, Amazon Document DB. Option E, Amazon DynamoDB. The right options are option D and option E. Next question. A company has a database server that is always running. The company hosts the server on Amazon EC2 instances. The instance sizes are suitable for the workload. The workload will run for 1 year. Which easy-to-instance purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost-effectively? Option A. Standard reserved instances. Option B. On-demand instances. Option C. Spot instances. Option D. Convertible reserved instances. The right answer is option A. Standard reserved instances. Next question. A company wants to limit its employees' AWS access to a portfolio of predefined AWS resources. Which AWS solution should the company use to meet this requirement? Option A. AWS Config. Option B. AWS Software Development Kits. Option C. AWS Service Catalog. Option D. AWS AppSync. The correct answer is option C. AWS Service Catalog. Next question. A global media company uses AWS organizations to manage multiple AWS accounts. Which AWS service or feature can the company use to limit the access to AWS services for member accounts? Option A. AWS Identity and Access Management. Option B. Service Control Policies. Option C. Organizational Units. Option D. Access Control Lists. The right answer is option B. Service Control Policies. Next question. A company has designed its AWS cloud infrastructure to run its workloads effectively. The company also has protocols in place to continuously improve supporting processes. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework does this scenario represent? Option A. Security. Option B. Performance efficiency. Option C. Cost optimization. Option D. Operational excellence. The right answer is option D. Operational excellence. Next question. An online company was running a workload on premises and was struggling to launch new products and features. After migrating the workload to AWS, the company can quickly launch products and features and can scale its infrastructure as required. Which AWS cloud value proposition does this scenario describe? Option A. Business agility. Option B. High availability. Option C. Security. Option D. Centralized auditing. The right answer is option A. A company needs a central user portal so that users can log into third-party business applications that support security assertion markup language. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A. AWS Identity and Access Management. Option B. Amazon Cognito. Option C. AWS IAM Identity Center. Option D. AWS CLI. The correct answer is option C. AWS IAM Identity Center. Next question. Which action is a security best practice for access to sensitive data that is stored in an Amazon S3 bucket? Option A. Enable S3 cross-region replication on the S3 bucket. Option B. Use IAM roles for applications that require access to the S3 bucket. Option C. Configure AWS WAF to prevent unauthorized access to the S3 bucket. Option D. Configure Amazon Guard Duty to prevent unauthorized access to the S3 bucket. The correct answer is option B. Use IAM roles for applications that require access to the S3 bucket. Next question. A company wants to know more about the benefits offered by cloud computing. The company wants to understand the operational advantage of agility. How does AWS provide agility for users? Option A. The ability to ensure high availability by deploying workloads to multiple regions. Option B. A pay-as-you-go model for many services and resources. Option C. The ability to transfer infrastructure management to the AWS cloud. Option D. The ability to provision and deprovision resources quickly with minimal effort. The correct answer is option D. The ability to provision and deprovision resources quickly with minimal effort. The agility provided by AWS is closely tied to the ability to provision and deprovision resources rapidly. AWS allows users to scale their infrastructure up or down based on demand, enabling them to quickly deploy new resources when needed and release them when no longer necessary. This flexibility and speed in resource management contribute to operational agility, allowing companies to respond more efficiently to changing business requirements. Next question. A company wants to identify Amazon S3 buckets that are shared with another AWS account. Which AWS service or feature will meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Lake Formation. Option B, IAM Credential Report. Option C, Amazon CloudWatch. Option D, IAM Access Analyzer. The correct answer is option D, IAM Access Analyzer. IAM Access Analyzer find out which resources are shared externally. S3 buckets, IAM roles, KMS keys, Lambda functions layers, SQS keys, and secrets managers. Next question. Which AWS service gives users the ability to build interactive business intelligence dashboards that include machine learning insights? Option A, Amazon Athena. Option B, Amazon Kendra. Option C, Amazon QuickSight. Option D, Amazon Redshift. The correct answer is option C, Amazon QuickSight. Next question. Which of the following is an AWS value proposition that describes a user's ability to scale infrastructure based on demand? Option A, speed of innovation. Option B, resource elasticity. Option C, decoupled architecture. Option D, global deployment. The right answer is option B, resource elasticity. Let's move on to the next one. A company needs to transfer data between an Amazon S3 bucket and an on-premises application. Who is responsible for the security of this data according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A, the company. Option B, AWS. Option C, firewall vendor. Option D, AWS marketplace partner. The correct answer is option A, the company. Next question. A company plans to migrate its application to AWS and run the application on Amazon EC2 instances. Application will have continuous usage for 1 year. Which EC2 instance purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost effectively? Option A, reserved instances. Option B, spot instances. Option C, on-demand instances. Option D, dedicated hosts. The right answer is option A, reserved instances. Next question. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework refers to the ability of a system to recover from infrastructure or service disruptions and dynamically acquire computing resources to meet demand? Option A, security. Option B, reliability. Option C, performance efficiency. Option D, cost optimization. The right answer is option B, reliability. Next question. A company is running a critical workload on an Amazon RDS DB instance. The company needs the database instance to be highly available with a recovery time of less than 5 minutes. Which solution will meet these requirements? Option A, create a read replica of the DB instance. Option B, create a template of the DB instance by using AWS CloudFormation. Option C, take frequent snapshots of the DB instance. Store the snapshots in Amazon S3. Option D, modify the DB instance to be a multi-AZ deployment. The right answer is option D, modify the DB instance to be a multi-AZ deployment. Which AWS service enables users to check for vulnerabilities on Amazon EC2 instances by using predefined assessment templates? The options are option A, AWS Web Application Firewall. Option B, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option C, Amazon Inspector. Option D, AWS Shield. The correct answer is option C, Amazon Inspector. Next question. A company is planning to migrate its application to the AWS cloud. Which AWS tool or set of resources should the company use to analyze and assess its readiness for migration? Option A, AWS Cloud Adoption Framework. Option B, AWS Pricing Calculator. Option C, AWS Well-Architected Framework. Option D, AWS Budgets. The correct answer is option C, AWS Well-Architected Framework. Next question. A company plans to migrate to the AWS cloud. The company is gathering information about its on-premises infrastructure and requires information such as the host name, IP address, and MAC address. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Data Sync. Option B, AWS Application Migration Service. Option C, AWS Application Discovery Service. Option D, AWS Database Migration Service. The correct answer is option C, AWS Application Discovery Service. AWS Application Discovery Service collects both server and database configuration information. Server information includes host names, IP addresses, MAC addresses, as well as the resource allocation and utilization details of key resources such as CPU, network, memory, and disk. Next question. Which action will help increase security in the AWS cloud? Option A, enable programmatic access for all IAM users. Option B, use IAM users instead of IAM roles to delegate permissions. Option C, rotate access keys on a recurring basis. Option D, use inline policies instead of customer managed policies. The right answer is option C, rotate access keys on a recurring basis. Next question. Which AWS benefit is demonstrated by on-demand technology services that enable companies to replace upfront fixed expenses with variable expenses? Option A, high availability. Option B, economies of scale. Option C, pay-as-you-go pricing. Option D, global reach. The right answer is option C, pay-as-you-go pricing. Next question. Which of the following describes some of the core functionality of Amazon S3? Option A, Amazon S3 is a high-performance block storage service that is designed for use with Amazon EC2. Option B, Amazon S3 is an object storage service that provides high-level performance, security, scalability, and data availability. Option C, Amazon S3 is a fully managed, highly reliable, and scalable file storage system that is accessible over the industry standard SMB protocol. Option D, Amazon S3 is a scalable, fully managed elastic NFS for use with AWS cloud services and on-premises resources. The right answer is option B. Next question. What is the customer always responsible for managing according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A, software licenses. Option B, networking. Option C, customer data. Option D, encryption keys. The right answer is option C, customer data. Next question. Which AWS service can be used to retrieve complaints reports on demand? Option A, AWS Secrets Manager. Option B, AWS Artifact. Option C, AWS Security Hub. Option D, AWS Certificate Manager. The right answer is option B, AWS Artifact. Next question. Which AWS service or tool can be used to capture information about inbound and outbound traffic in an Amazon VPC? Option A, VPC flow logs. Option B, Amazon Inspector. Option C, VPC endpoint services. Option D, NAT gateway. The right answer is option A, VPC flow logs. Next question. Which AWS service should users use to learn about AWS service availability and operations? Option A, Amazon Event Bridge. Option B, AWS Service Catalog. Option C, AWS Control Tower. Option D, AWS Health Dashboard. The right answer is option B, AWS Service Catalog. Which cloud transformation journey phase of the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework focuses on demonstrating how the cloud helps accelerate business outcomes? The options are option A, scale. Option B, envision. Option C, align. Option D, launch. The correct answer is option B, envision. Envision demonstrate how the cloud will accelerate business outcomes by identifying transformation opportunities and create a foundation for your digital transformation. Next question. Which option is a customer responsibility under the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A, maintenance of underlying hardware of Amazon EC2 instances. Option B, application data security. Option C, physical security of data centers. Option D, maintenance of a VPC components. The correct answer is option B, application data security. Next question. A company wants to modernize and convert a monolithic application into microservices. The company wants to move the application to AWS. Which migration strategy should the company use? Option A, rehost. Option B, replatform. Option C, repurchase. Option D, refactor. The right answer is option D, refactor. Next question. A company wants its Amazon EC2 instances to operate in a highly available environment even if there is a natural disaster in a particular geographic area. Which approach will achieve this goal? Option A, use EC2 instances in multiple AWS regions. Option B, use EC2 instances in multiple Amazon CloudFront locations. Option C, use EC2 instances in multiple edge locations. Option D, use EC2 instances in AWS local zones. The correct answer is option A, use EC2 instances in multiple AWS regions. Next question. A systems administrator created a new IAM user for a developer and assigned the user an access key instead of a username and password. What is the access key used for? Option A, to access the AWS account as the AWS account root user. Option B, to access the AWS account through the AWS Management Console. Option C, to access the AWS account through a CLI. Option D, to access all of a company's AWS accounts. The correct answer is option C, to access the AWS account through a CLI. Next question. Which option is an environment that consists of one or more data centers? Option A, Amazon CloudFront. Option B, availability zone. Option C, VPC. Option D, AWS outposts. The correct answer is option B, availability zone. An availability zone consists of multiple data centers which are all equipped with independent power, cooling, and networking infrastructure, all housed in separate facilities. A region can have multiple availability zones, but no availability zones are shared with different regions. Next question. A company needs to continuously run an experimental workload on an Amazon EC2 instance and stop the instance after 12 hours. Which instance purchasing option will meet this requirement most cost effectively? Option A, on-demand instances. Option B, reserved instances. Option C, spot instances. Option D, dedicated instances. The correct answer is option A, on-demand instances. Next question. A company needs to quickly and securely move files over long distances between its client and an Amazon S3 bucket. Which S3 feature will meet this requirement? Option A, S3 versioning. Option B, S3 transfer acceleration. Option C, S3 ACLs. Option D, S3 intelligent tiering. The correct answer is option B, S3 transfer acceleration. S3 transfer acceleration is a feature that utilizes Amazon CloudFront's globally distributed edge locations to accelerate the upload of objects to an S3 bucket. It optimizes data transfer by using Amazon's backbone network, reducing latency and improving speeds when transferring files over long distances. Next question. A company plans to migrate to the AWS cloud. The company wants to use the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework to define and track business outcomes as part of its cloud transformation journey. Which AWS Cloud Adoption Framework, governance, perspective, capability will meet these requirements? The options are option A, benefits management. Option B, risk management. Option C, application portfolio management. Option D, cloud financial management. The correct answer is option A, benefits management. The benefits management capability of the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework governance perspective is specifically designed to help organizations define, measure, and track the business outcomes they expect to achieve from their cloud adoption initiatives. This includes identifying and quantifying the expected benefits, establishing clear ownership and responsibility for achieving those benefits, and establishing processes and metrics to track progress and measure success. Next question. Which AWS cloud service can send alerts to customers if custom spending thresholds are exceeded? Option A, AWS budgets. Option B, AWS Cost Explorer. Option C, AWS Cost Allocation Tags. Option D, AWS Organizations. The right answer is option A, AWS budgets. AWS Budgets is the AWS cloud service that allows users to set custom spending thresholds and receive alerts when those thresholds are exceeded. It helps users to keep track of their AWS spending by providing notifications based on their budget limits. Next, which option is an AWS Cloud Adoption Framework platform perspective capability? The options are option A, data architecture, option B, data protection, option C, data governance, option D, data science. The correct answer is option A, data architecture. A is the right answer. Platform perspective helps you build an enterprise-grade, scalable, hybrid cloud platform, modernize existing workloads, and implement new cloud-native solutions. This includes data architecture. Next question. A company is running a workload in the AWS cloud. Which AWS best practice ensures the most cost-effective architecture for the workload? The options are option A, loose coupling, option B, right sizing, option C, caching, option D, redundancy. The correct answer is option B, right sizing. Right sizing is the process of matching instance types and sizes to your workload performance and capacity requirements at the lowest possible cost. Next question. Which AWS tool gives users the ability to plan their service usage, service costs, and instance reservations, and also allows them to set custom alerts when their costs or usage exceed established thresholds? Option A, Cost Explorer. Option B, AWS Budgets. Option C, AWS Cost and Usage Report. Option D, Reserved Instance Reporting. The correct answer is option B, AWS Budgets. Using AWS Budgets, you can set a budget that alerts you when you exceeded or are forecasted to exceed your budget cost or usage amount. You can also set alerts based on your RI or saving plans, utilization and coverage using AWS budgets. Next question. A company is using a third-party service to back up 10 TB of data to a tape library. The on-premises backup server is running out of space. The company wants to use AWS services for the backups without changing its existing backup workflows. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? The options are option A, Amazon Elastic Block Store, option B, AWS Storage Gateway, option C, Amazon Elastic Container Service, option D, AWS Lambda. The correct answer is option B, AWS Storage Gateway. AWS Storage Gateway is a hybrid cloud storage service that gives you on-premises access to virtually unlimited cloud storage. Storage Gateway provides a standard set of storage protocols such as SMB and NFS, which allow you to use AWS storage without rewriting your existing applications. Let's move on to the next one. Which tasks are the customer's responsibility according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Choose two options. Option A, establish the global infrastructure. Option B, perform client-side data encryption. Option C, configure IAM credentials. Option D, secure edge locations. Option E, patch Amazon RDS-DB instances. The correct answer is option B and option C. Perform client-side data encryption, and option C, configure IAM credentials. Next question. A developer has been hired by a large company and needs AWS credentials, which are security best practices that should be followed. Choose two options. Option A, grant the developer access to only only the AWS resources needed to perform the job. Option B, share the AWS account root user credentials with the developer. Option C, add the developer to the administrators group in AWS IAM. Option D, configure a password policy that ensures the developer's password cannot be changed. Option E, ensure the account password policy requires a minimum length. The correct options are option A and option E. Grant the developer access to only the AWS resources needed to perform the job. Option E, ensure the account password policy requires a minimum length. Next question. A company has multiple AWS accounts that include compute workloads that cannot be interrupted. The company wants to obtain billing discounts that are based on the company's use of AWS services. Which AWS feature or purchasing option will meet these requirements? Option A, resource tagging. Option B, consolidated billing. Option C, pay-as-you-go pricing. Option D, spot instances. The correct answer is option B, consolidated billing. Consolidated billing allows you to combine multiple AWS accounts and aggregate the usage and spending across those accounts. This simplifies billing and enables you to take advantage of volume discounts, which can lead to cost savings. Each account can still maintain its own resource tagging and pricing options, so it's possible to manage compute workloads in individual accounts as needed. Next one. A user wants to allow applications running on an Amazon EC2 instance to make calls to other AWS services. The access granted must be secure. Which AWS service or feature should be used? The options are option A, security groups. Option B, AWS firewall manager. Option C, IAM roles. Option D, IAM user SSH keys. The correct answer is option C, IAM roles. Roles are used to allow users or services access to other AWS resources. Next question. A company wants a fully managed Windows file server for its Windows-based applications. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A, Amazon FSx. Option B, Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service. Option C, Amazon Elastic Container Service. Option D, Amazon EMR. The correct answer is option A, Amazon FSx. Lets you easily and securely backup, archive, or replicate your on-premises file storage to AWS in order to meet regulatory, data retention, or disaster recovery requirements. Learn how to get started choosing an Amazon FSx file system. Next question. A company wants to migrate its NFS on-premises workloads to AWS. Which AWS storage gateway type should the company use to meet this requirement? The options are option A, tape gateway. Option B, volume gateway. Option C, Amazon FSx file gateway. Option D, Amazon S3 file gateway. The correct answer is option D, Amazon S3 file gateway. Amazon S3 file gateway provides a seamless way to connect to the cloud in order to store application data files and backup images as durable objects in Amazon S3 cloud storage. Amazon S3 File Gateway offers SMB or NFS-based access to data in Amazon S3 with local caching. It can be used for on-premises data-intensive Amazon EC2-based applications that need file protocol access to S3 object storage. Which AWS services can a company use to achieve a loosely coupled architecture? Choose two options. The options are option A, Amazon Workspaces. Option B, Amazon Simple Queue Service. Option C, Amazon Connect. Option D, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option E, AWS Step Functions. The correct options are option B and option E. Option B, Amazon Simple Queue Services. SQS is a fully managed message queuing service that enables decoupling of the components in a distributed system. It allows components to communicate asynchronously, promoting loose coupling. And option E, AWS Step Functions. Step Functions is a serverless function orchestrator that allows you to coordinate multiple AWS services into serverless workflows. It helps in creating loosely coupled, flexible systems by defining workflows that connect various services. Next question. Which options are AWS Cloud Adaptation Framework security perspective capabilities? Choose two options. The options are option A, observability, option B, incident and problem management, option C, incident response, option D, infrastructure protection, option E, availability and continuity. The right answer is option C and option D, incident response and infrastructure protection. Next question. A company wants to run its workload on Amazon EC2 instances for more than 1 year. This workload will run continuously. Which option offers a discounted hourly rate compared to the hourly rate of on-demand instances? The options are option A, AWS Graviton Processor, option B, dedicated hosts, option C, EC2 instance savings plans, option D, Amazon EC2 auto scaling instances. The right answer is option C, EC2 instance savings plans. Next question. Which characteristic of the AWS cloud helps users eliminate underutilized CPU capacity? Option A, agility, option B, elasticity, option C, reliability, and option D, durability. The correct answer is option B, elasticity. Next question. The company is assessing its AWS business support plan to determine if the plan still meets the company's needs. The company is considering switching to AWS Enterprise support. Which additional benefit will the company receive with AWS Enterprise support? The options are option A, a full set of AWS Trusted Advisor checks, option B, phone, email, and chat access to cloud support engineers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Option C, a designated technical account manager to assist in monitoring and optimization. Option D, a consultative review and architecture guidance for the company's applications. The correct answer is option C, a designated technical account manager to assist in monitoring and optimization. Next question. Which pricing model will interrupt a running Amazon EC2 instance if capacity becomes temporarily unavailable? Option A, on-demand instances, option B, standard reserved instances, option C, spot instances, and option D, convertible reserved instances. The correct answer is option C, spot instances. Next question. Which option is a benefit of using AWS for cloud computing? Option A, trade variable expense for fixed expenses. Option B, pay as you go pricing. Option C, decreased speed and agility. Option D, spending money running and maintaining data centers. The right answer is option B, pay as you go pricing. The answer is given in the doc 6 advantages of cloud computing. The benefit from massive economies of scale is pay as you go pricing. Next question. Which option is an AWS Cloud Adaptation Framework business perspective capability? Option A, culture evaluation. Option B, event management. Option C, data monetization. Option D, platform architecture. The correct answer is option C, data monetization. Next one. Which task is a responsibility of AWS according to the AWS shared responsibility model? The options are option A, enable client-side encryption for objects that are stored in Amazon S3. Option B, configure IAM security policies to comply with the principles of least privilege. Option C. Patch the guest operating system on an Amazon EC2 instance. Option D. Apply updates to the Nitro hypervisor. The right answer is option D. Apply updates to the Nitro hypervisor. AWS responsibility, security of the cloud. AWS is responsible for protecting the infrastructure that runs all of the services offered in the AWS cloud. This infrastructure is composed of the software, networking, and facilities that run AWS cloud services. Next question. A company wants to migrate its on-premises workloads to the AWS cloud. The company wants to separate workloads for chargeback to different departments. Which AWS services or features will meet these requirements? Choose two options. Option A. Placement groups. Option B. Consolidated billing. Option C. Edge locations. Option D. AWS config. Option E. Multiple AWS accounts. Correct options are option B and option E. Option B. Consolidated billing. Consolidated billing is a feature of AWS organizations that allows you to combine billing for multiple AWS accounts. With consolidated billing, each department can have its own AWS account for tracking and managing its resources separately, while the company enjoys the convenience of a single payment method for all these accounts. This setup makes it easier to track costs and implement chargeback mechanisms. Option E. Multiple AWS accounts. Creating multiple AWS accounts, one for each department, is an effective way to segregate resources, manage permissions, and track costs separately. This approach enhances security by limiting the scope of access and impact of changes, and it simplifies the process of attributing costs to the right department. Combined with consolidated billing, it provides both organizational flexibility and centralized financial control. A company plans to deploy containers on AWS. The company wants full control of the compute resources that host the containers. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? The options are option A. Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service. Option B. AWS Fargate. Option C. Amazon EC2. Option D. Amazon Elastic Container Service. The correct answer is option D. Amazon Elastic Container Service. Next question. Which option is a shared responsibility between AWS and its customers under the AWS shared responsibility model? The options are option A. Configuration of Amazon EC2 instance operating systems. Option B. Application file system server side encryption. Option C. Patch management. Option D. Security of the physical infrastructure. The correct answer is option C. Patch management. Shared controls. AWS is responsible for patching and fixing flaws within the infrastructure, but customers are responsible for patching their guest operating system and applications. Next question. Which Amazon EC2 pricing model is the most cost efficient for an uninterruptible workload that runs once a year for 24 hours? Option A. On-demand instances. Option B. Reserved instances. Option C. Spot instances. Option D. Dedicated instances. The correct answer is option A. On-demand instances. With on-demand instances, you pay for compute capacity by the hour or the second depending on which instances you run. No long-term commitments or upfront payments are needed. You can increase or decrease your compute capacity depending on the demands of your application and only pay the specified per hourly rates for the instance you use. Next one. A company has a compute workload that is steady, predictable, and uninterruptible. Which Amazon EC2 instance purchasing options meet these requirements most cost effectively? Choose two options. Option A. On-demand instances. Option B. Reserved instances. Option C. Spot instances. Option D, saving plans. Option E, dedicated hosts. The correct options are option B and option D, reserved instances and savings plans. Next question. Which perspective in the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework includes capabilities for configuration management and patch management? The options are option A, platform, option B, operations, option C, security, option D, governance. The correct answer is option B. AWCAF operations perspective capabilities, observability, event management, incident and problem management, change and release management, performance and capacity management, configuration management, patch management, availability and continuity management, application management. Next question. A company needs to evaluate its AWS environment and provide best practice recommendations in 5 categories: cost, performance, service limits, fault tolerance, and security. Which AWS service can the company use to meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Shield. Option B, AWS WAF. Option C, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option D, AWS Service Catalog. The correct answer is option C, AWS Trusted Advisor. Next question. A company wants to block SQL injection attacks. Which AWS service or feature should the company use to meet this requirement? Option A, AWS WAF. Option B, network ACLs. Option C, security groups. Option D, AWS Certificate Manager. The correct answer is option A, AWS WAF is a web application firewall that helps protect web applications from attacks by allowing you to configure rules that allow, block, or monitor web requests based on conditions that you define. These conditions include IP addresses, HTTP headers, HTTP body URI strings, SQL injection, and cross-site scripting. Next question. A company wants to store and retrieve files in Amazon S3 for its existing on-premises applications by using industry standard file system protocols. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Data Sync. Option B, AWS Snowball Edge. Option C, Amazon S3 File Gateway. Option D, AWS Transfer Family. The correct answer is option C, Amazon S3 File Gateway. Amazon S3 File Gateway provides a seamless way to connect to the cloud in order to store application data, files, and backup images as durable objects in Amazon S3 Cloud Storage. Amazon S3 File Gateway offers SMB or NFS-based access to data in Amazon S3 with local caching. It can be used for on-premises data-intensive Amazon EC2 based applications that need file protocol access to S3 object storage. Next question. A company wants a unified tool to provide a consistent method to interact with AWS services. Which AWS service or tool will meet this requirement? Option A, AWS CLI. Option B, Amazon Elastic Container Service. Option C, AWS Cloud9. Option D, AWS Virtual Private Network, that is AWS VPN. The right answer is option A, AWS CLI. The AWS command line interface is a unified tool to manage your AWS services. With just one tool to download and configure, you can control multiple AWS services from the command line and automate them through scripts. Next question. Which AWS service or feature allows users to create new AWS accounts, group multiple accounts to organize workflows, and apply policies to groups of accounts? Option A, AWS Identity and Access Management. Option B, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option C, AWS CloudFormation. Option D, AWS Organizations. The correct answer is option D, AWS Organizations. AWS organizations provides you with the capability to centrally manage and govern your cloud environment. You can manage and organize your accounts under a single bill, set central policies and configuration requirements for your entire organization, create custom permissions or capabilities within the organization, and delegate responsibilities to other accounts so they can manage on behalf of the organization. A company needs to track the activity in its AWS accounts and needs to know when an API call is made against its AWS resources. Which AWS tool or service can be used to meet these requirements? The options are: option A, Amazon CloudWatch; option B, Amazon Inspector; option C, AWS CloudTrail; option D, AWS IAM. The correct answer is option C. CloudTrail enables auditing, security monitoring, and operational troubleshooting by tracking user activity and API usage. CloudTrail logs continuously monitors and retains account activity related to actions across your AWS infrastructure, giving you control over storage, analysis, and remediation actions. Next question. A company wants to design a centralized storage system to manage the configuration data and passwords for its critical business applications. Which AWS service or capability will meet these requirements most cost effectively? The options are: option A, AWS Systems Manager Parameter Store; option B, AWS Secrets Manager; option C, AWS Config; option D, Amazon S3. The correct answer is option A. Parameter Store, a capability of AWS Systems Manager, provides secure, hierarchical storage for configuration, data management, and secrets management. You can store data such as passwords, database strings, Amazon machine image IDs, and license codes as parameter values. Next question. Which AWS service or feature provides log information of the inbound and outbound traffic on network interfaces in a VPC? The options are: option A, Amazon CloudWatch logs; option B, AWS CloudTrail; option C, VPC flow logs; option D, AWS Identity and Access Management. The correct answer is option C, VPC flow logs. VPC flow logs is a feature that enables you to capture information about the IP traffic going to and from network interfaces in your VPC. Flow logs data can be published to either Amazon CloudWatch logs or Amazon S3. You can monitor your VPC flow logs to gain operational visibility about your network dependencies and traffic patterns, detect anomalies and prevent data leakage or troubleshoot network connectivity and configuration issues. Next question. A company needs to perform data processing once a week that typically takes about 5 hours to complete. Which AWS service should the company use for this workload? The options are: option A, AWS Lambda; option B, Amazon EC2; option C, AWS Code Deploy; option D, AWS Wavelength. The correct answer is option B, Amazon EC2. AWS service for a workload that needs to be processed once a week for about 5 hours is Amazon EC2. AWS Lambda is a serverless computing service that runs your code without provisioning or managing servers. However, Lambda functions have a maximum execution time of 15 minutes. Therefore, Lambda is not suitable for workloads that need to run for longer than 15 minutes. Amazon EC2 is a scalable computing service that provides instances with varying capabilities and pricing options. You can choose an EC2 instance that is right for your data processing job and then terminate the instance when the job is complete. This will help you to save money on your AWS bill. Next question. Which fully managed AWS service assists with the creation, testing, and management of custom Amazon EC2 images? The options are: option A, EC2 Image Builder; option B, Amazon Machine Image; Option C, AWS Launch Wizard. Option D, AWS Elastic Beanstalk. The correct answer is option A, EC2 Image Builder. EC2 Image Builder simplifies the creation, maintenance, validation, sharing and deployment of Linux or Windows images for use with Amazon EC2 and on-premises. Next question. A company wants an automated process to continuously scan its Amazon EC2 instances for, for software vulnerabilities. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? The options are option A, Amazon Guard Duty, option B, Amazon Inspector, option C, Amazon Detective, option D, Amazon Cognito. The correct answer is option B, Amazon Inspector. Amazon Inspector is an automated vulnerability management service that continually scans Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, AWS Lambda functions, and container workloads for software vulnerabilities and unintended network exposure. Next question. A social media company wants to protect its web application from common web exploits such as SQL injections and cross-site scripting. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A, Amazon Inspector. Option B, AWS WAF. Option C, Amazon Guard Duty. Option D, Amazon CloudWatch. The correct answer is option B, AWS WAF is a web application firewall that helps protect web applications from attacks by allowing you to configure rules that allow, block, or monitor web requests based on conditions that you define. These conditions include IP addresses, HTTP headers, HTTP body, URI strings, SQL injection, and cross-site scripting. Next, move on to the next one. A company is planning its migration to the AWS cloud. The company is identifying its capability gaps by using the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework perspectives. Which phase of the cloud transformation journey includes these identification activities? Option A, Envision. Option B, Align. Option C, Scale. Option D, Launch. The correct answer is option B, Align. Align phase focuses on identifying capability gaps across their 6 AWS CAF perspectives, identifying cross-organizational dependencies, and surfacing stakeholder concerns and challenges. Next question. A company wants an AWS service to provide product recommendations based on its customer data. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A, Amazon Poly. Option B, Amazon Personalize. Option C, Amazon Comprehend. Option D, Amazon Recognition. The correct answer is option B, Amazon Personalize. Amazon Personalize accelerates your digital transformation with machine learning, making it easier to integrate personalized recommendations into existing websites, applications, email marketing systems, and more. Next question. A company has an uninterruptible application that runs on Amazon EC2 instances. The application constantly processes a backlog of files in an Amazon Simple Queue service queue. This usage is expected to continue to grow for years. What is the most cost-effective EC2 instance purchasing model to meet these requirements? Option A, spot instances. Option B, on-demand instances. Option C, savings plans. Option D, dedicated hosts. The correct answer is option C, savings plans. Savings plans uninterruptible application and usage is expected to continue to grow for years. Company can commit to 1 or 3-year plan to obtain savings. Savings plans are a flexible pricing model that offer low prices on EC2 usage in exchange for a commitment to a consistent amount of usage measured in dollars per hour for a term of 1 or 3 years. Savings plans can reduce your EC2 costs by up to 72% compared to on-demand price. Which of the following is a software development framework that a company can use to define cloud resources, as code and provision the resources through AWS CloudFormation. The options are option A, AWS CLI, option B, AWS Developer Center, option C, AWS Cloud Development Kit, AWS CDK, option D, AWS CodeStar. The correct answer for this question is option C, AWS Cloud Development Kit. AWS CDK is a software development framework that enables developers to define infrastructure as code using familiar programming languages like TypeScript, Python, Java, C#, and more. With AWS Cloud Development Kit, you can define cloud resources, their relationships, and provisioning logic in your preferred programming language. AWS CDK also generates CloudFormation templates based on your code, making it easier to manage and deploy infrastructure resources in AWS. Next question. Which AWS service can identify when an Amazon EC2 instance was terminated? Options are option A, AWS Identity and Access Management, option B, AWS CloudTrail, option C, AWS Compute Optimizer, option D, Amazon Event Bridge. The right answer for this question is option B, AWS CloudTrail. CloudTrail is a service that records all API activity in your AWS account, including the termination of EC2 instances. It creates log entries for various events, providing an audit trail of actions taken on resources. By reviewing CloudTrail logs, you can identify when an EC2 instance was terminated, who initiated the termination, and other relevant details about the event. Next question. Which of the following services can be used to block network traffic to an instance? Choose two options. Options are option A, security groups, option B, Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, Amazon VPC flow logs, option C, network ACLs, option D, Amazon CloudWatch, option E, AWS CloudTrail. The correct options are option A, security groups, option C, network ACLs. Security groups are stateful firewalls that control inbound and outbound traffic at the instance level. You can configure security groups to allow or deny specific types of network traffic to and from your instances. Network ACLs, access control lists, are stateless firewalls that control traffic at the subnet level. Network ACLs define rules to allow or deny traffic based on source and destination IP addresses, ports, and protocols. Next question. Which AWS service gives users the ability to discover and protect sensitive data that is stored in Amazon S3 buckets? The options are option A, Amazon Messi, option B, Amazon Detective, option C, Amazon Guard Duty, option D, AWS IAM Access Analyzer. The correct option for this question is option A, Amazon Messi is a security service that uses machine learning to automatically discover, classify, and protect sensitive data in Amazon S3. It helps you identify and protect data such as personally identifiable information, financial information, intellectual property, and more by monitoring data access and altering you to potential security risks. Next question. A company has a test AWS environment. A company is planning on testing an application within AWS. The application testing can be interrupted and does not need to run continuously. Which Amazon EC2 purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost effectively? Option A, on-demand instances, option B, dedicated instances, option C, spot instances, option D, reserved instances. The right option is option C, spot instances. Spot instances are a good fit for stateless, fault-tolerant workloads that can be interrupted without any impact on the overall job. Next question. A company is using Amazon DynamoDB. Which task is the company's responsibility according to the AWS shared responsibility model? The options are: option A, patch the operating system. Option B, provision hosts. Option C, manage database access permissions. Option D, secure the operating system. The correct answer is option C, manage database access permissions. Next question. To reduce costs, a company is planning to migrate a NoSQL database to AWS. Which AWS service is fully managed and can automatically scale throughput capacity to meet database workload demands? The options are: option A, Amazon Redshift. Option B, Amazon Aurora. Option C, Amazon DynamoDB. Option D, Amazon RDS. The correct answer is option C, Amazon DynamoDB. Amazon DynamoDB is a fully managed NoSQL database service that provides fast and predictable performance with seamless scalability. Next question. Which AWS service is always provided at no charge? Option A, Amazon S3. Option B, AWS Identity and Access Management. Option C, Elastic Load Balancers. Option D, AWS WAF. The right option is option B. IAM is a feature of your AWS account and is offered at no additional charge. Next question. Which AWS service is a cloud security posture management, that is CSPM service, that aggregates alerts from various AWS services and partner products in a standardized format? Options are: option A, AWS Security Hub. Option B, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option C, Amazon Event Bridge. Option D, Amazon Guard Duty. The correct answer is option A. AWS Security Hub is a cloud security posture management service that performs automated continuous security best practice checks against your AWS resources to help you identify misconfigurations and aggregates your security alerts, that is findings, in a standardized format so that you can more easily enrich, investigate and remediate them. Next question. A company is developing an application that uses multiple AWS services. The application needs to use temporary limited privilege credentials for authentication with other AWS APIs. Which AWS service or feature should the company use to meet these authentication requirements? The options are: option A, Amazon API Gateway. Option B, IAM users. Option C, AWS Security Token Service, that is AWS SDS. Option D, IAM instance profiles. The correct answer is option C, AWS Security Token Service. AWS SDS provides a way to grant temporary limited privilege credentials to users, applications or services. These temporary credentials can be used to access AWS resources securely without having to use long-term access keys or IAM user credentials. A company wants to automate infrastructure deployment by using infrastructure as code. The company wants to scale production stacks so the stacks can be deployed in multiple AWS regions. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? The options are: Amazon CloudWatch. Option B, AWS Config. Option C, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option D, AWS CloudFormation. The correct answer is option D, AWS CloudFormation. AWS CloudFormation gives you an easy way to model a collection of related AWS and third-party resources, provision them quickly and consistently, and manage them throughout their life cycles. By treating infrastructure as code, a CloudFormation template describes your desired resources and their dependencies, so you can launch and configure them together as a stack. You can use a template to create, update, and delete an entire stack as a single unit as often as you need to. Instead of managing resources individually, you can manage and provision stacks across multiple AWS accounts and AWS regions. Next question. Which task is the responsibility of AWS when using AWS services? The options are: option A, management of IAM user permissions; option B, creation of security group rules for outbound access; option C, maintenance of physical and environmental controls; option D, application of Amazon EC2 operating system patches. The correct answer is option C, maintenance of physical and environmental controls. The words infrastructure and physical are always a good clue to AWS responsibility. C is the answer. The words. Okay, sorry. Next question. How does AWS cloud computing help businesses reduce costs? Choose two options. Option A, AWS charges the same prices for services in every AWS region. Option B, AWS enables capacity to be adjusted on demand. Option C, AWS offers discounts for Amazon EC2 instances that remain idle for more than 1 week. Option D, AWS does not charge for data sent from the AWS cloud to the internet. Option E, AWS eliminates many of the costs of building and maintaining on-premises data center. The correct answers are option B and option E. Next one. A company wants to grant users in one AWS account access to resources in another AWS account. The users do not currently have permission to access the resources. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A, IAM group. Option B, IAM role. Option C, IAM tag. Option D, IAM access analyzer. The correct answer is option B, IAM role. Next one. A company wants to operate a data warehouse to analyze data without managing the data warehouse infrastructure. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A, Amazon Aurora. Option B, Amazon Redshift Serverless. Option C, AWS Lambda. Option D, Amazon RDS. The right answer is option B. Amazon Redshift Serverless makes it easy to run analytics workloads of any size without having to manage data warehouse infrastructure. Next one. Which AWS service or tool can be used to set up a firewall to control traffic going into and coming out of an Amazon VPC subnet? Option A, security group. Option B, AWS. One second. Option B, AWS WAF. AWS WAF. Option C, AWS Firewall Manager. Option D, Network ACL. The correct answer is option D. Network ACLs are an optional layer of security that act as a firewall for controlling inbound and outbound traffic at the subnet level. VPC security comparison. Since we are on a subnet level, D is the correct answer. Network ACLs allow or deny inbound and outbound traffic at the subnet level. Security groups allow inbound and outbound traffic for associated resources such as EC2 instances. Next one. Using AWS Identity and Access Management to grant access only to the resources needed to perform a task is a concept known as option A, restricted access; option B, as needed access; option C, least privilege access; option D, token access. The correct answer is option C, least privilege access. Next question. Which of the following is a recommended design principle of the AWS well-architected framework? The options are: option A, reduce downtime by making infrastructure changes infrequently and in large increments. Option B, invest the time to configure infrastructure manually. Option C, learn to improve from operational failures. Option D, use monolithic application design for centralization. The correct answer is option C, learn to improve from operational failures. Learn from all operational failures. Drive improvement through lessons learned from all operational events and failures. Share what is learned across teams and through the entire organization. Next one. Which tool should a developer use to integrate AWS service features directly into an application? Option A, AWS Software Development Kit, which is nothing but a AWS SDK. Option B, AWS Code Deploy. Option C, AWS Lambda. Option D, AWS Batch. The correct answer is option A, AWS Software Development Kit. Next one. A company plans to migrate to AWS and wants to create cost estimates for its AWS use cases. Which AWS service or tool can the company use to meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Pricing Calculator. Option B, Amazon CloudWatch. Option C, AWS Cost Explorer. Option D, AWS Budgets. The correct answer is option A. AWS Pricing Calculator is a web-based planning tool that you can use to create estimates for your AWS use cases. You can use it to model your solutions before building them, explore the AWS service price points, and review the calculations behind your estimates. You can use it to help you plan how you spend, find cost-saving opportunities, and make informed decisions. When using Amazon, what are the benefits of consolidated billing for AWS cloud services? Choose two options. The options are: option A, volume discounts. Option B, a minimal additional fee for use. Option C, one bill for multiple accounts. Option D, installment payment options. Option D, custom cost and usage budget creation. The correct options are option A and C, volume discounts and one bill for multiple accounts. Next question. A user wants to review all Amazon S3 buckets with ACLs and S3 bucket policies in the S3 console. Which AWS service or resource will meet this requirement? Option A, S3 multiple region access points. Option B, S3 storage lanes. Option C, AWS IAM Identity Center, that means AWS single sign-on. Option D, AWS Analyzer for S3. The correct answer is option D, Access Analyzer for S3. When reviewing an at-risk bucket in IAM Access Analyzer for S3, you can block all public access to the bucket with a single click. We recommend that you block all access to your buckets unless you require public access to support a specific use case before you block all public access. Ensure that your applications will continue to work correctly without public access. IAM Access Analyzer for S3 might show that a bucket has read or write access provided through a bucket access control list, that is ACL, a bucket policy, a multi-region access point policy, or an access point policy. IAM Access Analyzer for S3 is available at no extra cost on the Amazon S3 console. Next one. What is the best resource for a user to find complaints, related information, and reports about AWS? The options are option A, AWS Artifact, option B, AWS Marketplace, option C, Amazon Inspector, option D, AWS Support. The correct answer is option A, AWS Artifact is your go-to central resource for compliance related information that matters to you. It provides on-demand access to security and compliance reports from AWS and ISVs, ISVs who sell their products on AWS Marketplace. Next one, which AWS service enables companies to deploy an application close to end users? The options are option A, Amazon CloudFront, option B, AWS Autoscaling, option C, AWS AppSync, option D, Amazon Route 53. The correct answer is option A. Amazon CloudFront speeds up distribution of your static and dynamic web content such as HTML, CSS, PHP, image, and media files when users request your content. CloudFront delivers it through a worldwide network of edge locations that provide low latency and high performance. Let's move on to the next one. Which AWS service or feature improves network performance by sending traffic through AWS worldwide network infrastructure? The options: option A, route table, option B, AWS Transit Gateway, option C, AWS Global Accelerator, option D, Amazon VPC. The correct answer is option C, AWS Global Accelerator. Next one, which AWS service provides highly durable object storage? Option A, Amazon S3, option B, Amazon Elastic File System, option C, Amazon Elastic Block Store, option D, Amazon FSx. The correct answer is option A, Amazon S3. S3 standard offers high durability, availability, and performance object storage for frequently accessed data. Next question. Which responsibility belongs to AWS when a company hosts its databases on Amazon EC2 instances? Option A, database backups, option B, database software patches, option C, operating system patches, option D, operating system installations. The correct answer is option D, operating system installations. Next one. Which of the following are advantages of moving to the AWS cloud? Choose two options. The options are option A, the ability to turn over the responsibility for all security to AWS. Option B, the ability to use the pay-as-you-go model. Option C, the ability to have full control over the physical infrastructure. Option D, no longer having to guess what capacity will be required. Option E, no longer worrying about users' access controls. The right options are option B and option D, the ability to use the pay-as-you-go model, and option D, no longer having to guess what capacity will be required. Next one. Which AWS service is a hybrid cloud storage service that provides on-premises users access to virtually unlimited cloud storage? Option A, AWS DataSync, option B, Amazon S3 Glacier, option C, AWS Storage Gateway, option D, Amazon Elastic Block Store. The right answer is option C, AWS Storage Gateway. AWS Storage Gateway is a hybrid cloud storage service that enables on-premises applications to seamlessly access AWS cloud-based storage. It provides a local cache for frequently accessed data to ensure low latency access, while also storing data in the cloud for durability and scalability. Next question. A company has a set of e-commerce applications. The applications need to be able to send messages to each other. Which AWS service meet this requirement? The options are option A, AWS auto scaling, option B, elastic load balancing, option C, Amazon simple queue service, option D, Amazon Kinesis data streams. The correct answer is option C, Amazon simple queue service. SQS is a fully managed message queuing service that enables you to decouple and scale microservices, distributed systems, and serverless applications. It allows one application to send messages to a queue and another application to retrieve those messages from the queue. This can be helpful in scenarios where the sender and receiver are not required to interact with each other in real time. Which AWS service helps deliver highly available applications with fast failover for multi-region and multi-AC architectures? The options are option A, AWS Amazon Web Application Firewall, option B, AWS Global Accelerator, option C, AWS Shield, option D, AWS Direct Connect. The correct answer is option B, AWS Global Accelerator. Next question. Which task is the customer's responsibility according to the AWS shared responsibility model? The options are option A, maintain the security of the AWS cloud, option B, configure firewalls and networks, option C, patch the operating system of Amazon RDS instances, option D, implement physical and environmental controls. The correct answer is option B, configure firewalls and networks. Next question. A developer needs to maintain a development environment infrastructure and a production environment infrastructure in a repeatable fashion. Which AWS service should the developer use to meet these requirements? The options are option A, AWS Ground Station, option B, AWS Shield, option C, AWS Lot Device Defender, option D, AWS Cloud Formation. The correct answer is option D, AWS Cloud Formation. AWS Cloud Formation lets you model, provision, and manage AWS and third-party resources by treating infrastructure as code. Let's move on to the next question. Which AWS cloud benefit is shown by an architecture's ability to withstand failures with minimal downtime? The options are option A, agility, option B, elasticity, option C, scalability, option D, highly availability. The correct answer is option D, highly availability. Next one. Which of the following are advantages of the AWS cloud? Choose two options. Option A, trade variable expenses for capital expenses. Option B, high economies of scale. Option C, launch globally in minutes. Option D, focus on managing hardware infrastructure. Option E, over provision to ensure capacity. The right options are option B and option C. Ability to quickly change required capacity. With AWS Cloud, users can easily scale their infrastructure up or down based on demand. This flexibility allows for rapid adjustment of resources to match applications' needs, enabling cost optimization and efficient resource utilization. Option C, high economies of scale. AWS operates at large scale, serving millions of customers globally. This scale allows AWS to achieve cost efficiencies and pass on the benefits to customers. By leveraging AWS services, users can access enterprise-grade infrastructure and services without the need for significant upfront investment in hardware or infrastructure. Next question. A company wants to manage its AWS cloud resources through a web interface. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? The options are option A, AWS Management Console, option B, AWS CLI, option C, AWS SDK, option D, AWS Cloud 9. The correct answer is option A, AWS Management Console. Next question. Which AWS service is used to provide encryption for Amazon EBS? EBS means Elastic Block Store. The options are AWS Certificate Manager, option B, AWS System Manager, option C, AWS KMS, option D, AWS Config. The correct answer is option C. Use Amazon EBS encryption as a straightforward encryption solution for your EBS resources associated with your EC2 instances. With Amazon EBS encryption, you are not required to build, maintain, and secure your own key management infrastructure. Amazon EBS encryption uses AWS KMS keys when creating encrypted volumes and snapshots. Next question. Which AWS service or feature can be used to create a private connection between an on-premises workload and an AWS cloud workload? The options are option A, Amazon Route 53, option B, Amazon Messi, option C, AWS Direct Connect, option D, AWS Private Link. The correct answer is option C. Direct Connect is for private dedicated connection between on-premise, and AWS Private Link is used when you communicate with the third-party VPC and it requires a network load balancer and ENI. AWS Private Link establishes connectivity between VPCs and AWS services without exposing data to the internet. Direct Connect create a dedicated network connection to AWS. Next one. A company wants to establish a schedule for rotating database user credentials. Which AWS service will support this requirement with the least amount of operational overhead? Option A, AWS Systems Manager, option B, AWS Secrets Manager, option C, AWS License Manager, option D, AWS Manager Services. The correct answer is option B, AWS Secrets Manager. Next one. A company wants to assess its operational readiness. It also wants to identify and mitigate any operational risks ahead of a new product launch. Which AWS support plan offers guidance and support for this kind of event at no additional charge? The options are option A, AWS Business Support, option B, AWS Basic Support, option C, AWS Developer Support, option D, AWS Enterprise Support. The correct answer is option D, AWS Enterprise Support. Which of the following is a fully managed MySQL compatible database? The options are option A, Amazon S3, option B, Amazon DynamoDB, option C, Amazon Redshift, option D, Amazon Aurora. The correct answer is option D. Amazon Aurora is a relational database service that is compatible with MySQL and PostgreSQL. It is fully managed by AWS and is designed for high availability, performance, and scalability while maintaining MySQL compatibility. Aurora offers features like automated backups, RAID replicas, and seamless failover to ensure data durability and availability. It's a popular choice for applications that require a MySQL compatible database with the benefits of a fully managed service. Next question. Which AWS service can run a managed PostgreSQL database that provides online transaction processing? The options are option A, Amazon DynamoDB, option B, Amazon Athena, option C, Amazon RDS, option D, Amazon EMR. The correct answer is Option C. Amazon RDS Relational Database Service. Amazon RDS supports various database engines, including PostgreSQL, and offers a managed database service suitable for online transaction processing workloads. With Amazon RDS for PostgreSQL, you can easily set up, operate, and scale a PostgreSQL database without the administrative overhead of managing the infrastructure. Next one. A company wants to provide managed Windows virtual desktops and applications to its remote employees over secure network connections. Which AWS services can the company use to meet these requirements? Choose two options. The options are option A, Amazon Connect, option B, Amazon App Stream 2.0, option C, Amazon Workspaces, option D, AWS Site to Site VPN, option E, Amazon Elastic Container Service. The correct options are option C and option D. Amazon App Stream 2.0 is a service for streaming desktop applications to a web browser, but it is different from full Windows virtual desktops provided by Amazon Workspaces. Next question. Which AWS service supports a hybrid architecture that gives users the ability to extend AWS infrastructure, AWS services, APIs, and tools to data centers, co-location environments, or on-premises facilities? The options: option A, AWS Snowmobile, option B, AWS Local Zones, option C, AWS Outposts, option D, AWS Fargate. The correct answer is option C. AWS Outposts enables you to run AWS infrastructure and services on-premises while seamlessly connecting to the AWS cloud. This service extends the AWS ecosystem to your on-premises locations, allowing you to take advantage of cloud benefits while addressing the requirements of data residency, low latency applications, and specific regulatory needs in hybrid environments. Next question. Which AWS services or features provide disaster recovery solutions for Amazon EC2 instances? Choose two options. The options are option A, EC2 reserved instances, option B, EC2 Amazon machine images, option C, Amazon Elastic Block Store snapshots, option D, AWS Shield, option E, Amazon Guard Duty. The right options are option B, option C. Option B, EC2 Amazon machine images are used to create backups of EC2 instances, and they can be used to launch replacement instances in the event of a disaster or data loss. AMIs are essential for creating recovery points for your EC2 instances. Option C, Amazon Elastic Block Store snapshots. EBS snapshots allows you to create point-in-time backups of your EBS volumes. These snapshots can be used to restore data or create new EBS volumes, making them a key component of disaster recovery for EC2 instances. Next question. Which AWS service is a key value database that provides sub-millisecond latency on a large scale? The options are option A, Amazon DynamoDB, option B, Amazon Aurora, option C, Amazon Document DB with MongoDB compatibility, option D, Amazon Neptune. The correct answer is option A. Amazon DynamoDB is a non-relational database that delivers reliable performance at any scale. It's a fully managed multi-region, multi-master database that provides consistent single-digit millisecond latency and offers built-in security, backup and restore, and in-memory caching. Next question. A company is deploying a machine learning research project that will require a lot of compute power over several months. The machine learning processing jobs do not need to run at specific times. Which Amazon EC2 instance purchasing option will meet these requirements at the lowest cost? Option A, on-demand instances, option B, spot instances, option C, reserved instances, option D, dedicated instances. The correct answer is option B, spot instances. Spot instances are the most cost-effective option for workloads that can be flexible about when they run. They allow you to use spare Amazon EC2 capacity at a significantly lower price compared to on-demand instances. Spot instances are ideal for workloads like batch processing, data analysis, and machine learning jobs that can be interrupted or scheduled flexibly. Next question. A company wants to monitor for misconfigured security groups that are allowing unrestricted access to specific ports. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Options are the option A, AWS Trusted Advisor, option B, Amazon CloudWatch, option C, Amazon Guard Duty, option D, AWS Health Dashboard. The correct answer is option A, AWS Trusted Advisor is a service that provides recommendations for optimizing your AWS infrastructure. It includes checks for security best practices, such as identifying security groups that have overly permissive rules which would allow unrestricted access to specific ports. It offers guidance on how to address these misconfigurations. Next one. Which AWS service provides command line access to AWS tools and resources directly from a web browser? Option A, AWS Cloud HSM, option B, AWS Cloud Shell, option C, Amazon Workspaces, option D, AWS Cloud Map. The correct answer is option B. Using AWS Cloud Shell, a browser-based shell, you can quickly run scripts with the AWS command line interface. Experiment with service APIs using the AWS CLI and use other tools to increase your productivity. The Cloud Shell icon appears in AWS regions where Cloud Shell is available. Next one. A network engineer needs to build a hybrid cloud architecture connecting on-premises networks to the AWS cloud using AWS Direct Connect. The company has a few VPCs in a single AWS region and expects to increase the number of VPCs to hundreds over time. Which AWS service or feature should the engineer use to simplify and scale this connectivity as the VPCs increase in number? The options are option A, VPC endpoints, option B, AWS Transit Gateway, option C, Amazon Route 53, option D, AWS Secrets Manager. The correct answer is option B. AWS Transit Gateway connects your Amazon virtual private clouds and on-premises networks through a central hub. This connection simplifies your network and puts an end to complex peering relationships. Transit Gateway acts as a highly scalable cloud router. Each new connection is made only once. Which option is a benefit of the economies of scale based on the advantages of cloud computing? The options are option A, the ability to trade variable expense for fixed expense, option B, increased speed and agility, option C, lower variable costs over fixed costs, option D, increased operational costs across data centers. If you are new to my channel, subscribe for more practice and previous exam questions. The correct answer is option C, lower variable costs over fixed costs. It is the only one that reflects cost benefits which are asked in the question. While he also mentioned cost it. It is contradicting the value of cloud, which is trade capital expense for variable cost. Next question. A company is building an application that needs to deliver images and videos globally with minimal latency. Which approach can their company use to accomplish this in a cost-effective manner? Option A, deliver the content through Amazon CloudFront. Option B, store the content on Amazon S3 and enable S3 cross-region replication. Option C, implement a VPN across multiple AWS regions. Option D, deliver the content through AWS private link? The right answer is option A, deliver the content through Amazon CloudFront. Let's see the next question. A company is exploring the use of the AWS cloud and needs to create a cost estimate for a project before the infrastructure is provisioned. Which AWS service or feature can be used to estimate costs before deployment? The options are option A, AWS Free Tier, option B, AWS Pricing Calculator, option C, AWS Billing and Cost Management, option D, AWS Cost and Usage Report. The correct answer is option B. AWS Pricing Calculator is a web-based planning tool that you can use to create estimates for your AWS use cases. You can use it to model your solutions before building them, explore the AWS service price points, and review the calculations behind your estimates. Next question. A company wants to migrate its on-premises relational databases to the AWS cloud. The company wants to use infrastructure as close to its current geographical location as possible. Which AWS service or resource should the company use to select its Amazon RDS deployment area? The options are option A, Amazon Connect, option B, AWS Wavelength, option C, AWS Regions, option D, AWS Direct Connect. The correct answer is option C, AWS Regions. Next question. A company wants to make an upfront commitment for continued use of its production Amazon EC2 instances in exchange for a reduced overall cost. Which pricing options meet these requirements with the lowest cost? Choose two options. The options are option A, spot instances, option B, on-demand instances, option C, reserved instances, option D, savings plans, option E, dedicated hosts. The right answer is option C and option D, reserved instances and savings plans. Next question. Which AWS Cloud Adoption Framework capability belongs to the people perspective? The options are option A, data architecture, option B, event management, option C, cloud frequency, option D, strategic partnership. Correct answer is option C, data architecture. Next question. Which AWS service can be used at no additional cost? The options are option A, Amazon SageMaker, option B, AWS Config, option C, AWS Organizations, option D, Amazon CloudWatch. The correct answer for this question is option C. AWS Organizations is an account management service that enables you to consolidate multiple AWS accounts into an organization that you create and centrally manage. AWS Organization is offered at no additional charge. You are charged only for AWS resources that users and roles in your member accounts use. For example, you are charged the standard fees for Amazon EC2 instances that are used by users or roles in your member accounts. Next question. A company has 5 TB of data stored in Amazon S3. The company plans to occasionally run queries on the data for analysis. Which AWS service should the company use to run these queries in the most cost-effective manner? Option A, Amazon Redshift, option B, Amazon Athena, option C, Amazon Kinesis, option D, Amazon RDS. Option B is the right answer for this question. Amazon Athena is a serverless interactive analytics service built on open source frameworks supporting open table and file formats. Athena provides a simplified, flexible way to analyze petabytes of data where it lives. Analyze data or build applications from an Amazon Simple Storage service, which is nothing but a S3, data lake, and 30 data sources, including on-premises data sources or other cloud systems using SQL or Python. Athena is built on open source Trino and Presto engines and Apache Spark frameworks with no provisioning or configuration effort required. Next question. What is a customer responsibility when using AWS Lambda according to the AWS Shared Responsibility model? The options are option A, managing the code within the Lambda function, option B, confirming that the hardware is working in the data center, option C, patching the operating system, option D, shutting down Lambda functions when they are no longer in use. The correct answer is option A, managing the code within the Lambda function. Next question. Which service enables customers to audit API calls in their AWS accounts? The options are option A, AWS CloudTrail, option B, AWS Trusted Advisor, option C, Amazon Inspector, option D, AWS X-Ray. The correct answer is option A, AWS CloudTrail. CloudTrail is a service that enables governance, compliance, operational auditing, and risk auditing of your AWS account. It records and logs all API calls made within your account, including who made them, when they were made, and which resources were affected. Which of the following is an advantage that users experience when they move on-premises workloads to the AWS cloud? Option A, elimination of expenses for running and maintaining data centers. Option B, price discounts that are identical to discounts from hardware providers. Option C, distribution of all operational controls to AWS. Option D, elimination of operational expenses. The correct answer for this question is option A, elimination of expenses for running and maintaining data centers. Let's move on to the next one. A company wants to manage deployed IT services and govern its infrastructure as code templates. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A, AWS Resource Explorer. Option B, AWS Service Catalog. Option C, AWS Organizations. Option D, AWS Systems Manager. The correct answer is option B, AWS Service Catalog is correct answer. AWS Service Catalog lets you centrally manage your cloud resources to achieve governance at scale of your infrastructure as code templates, written in CloudFormation or Terraform configurations. Next question. Which AWS service or tool helps users visualize, understand, and manage spending and usage over time? Option A, AWS Organizations. Option B, AWS Pricing Calculator. Option C, AWS Cost Explorer. Option D, AWS Service Catalog. The correct answer for this question is option C, AWS Cost Explorer. AWS Cost Explorer has an easy to use interface that lets you visualize, understand, and manage your AWS costs and usage over time. Next question. A company is using a central data platform to manage multiple types of data for its customers. The company wants to use AWS services to discover, transform, and visualize the data. Which combination of AWS services should the company use to meet these requirements? Choose two options. Option A, AWS Glue. Option B, Amazon Elastic File System. Option C, Amazon Redshift. Option D, Amazon QuickSight. Option E, Amazon Quantum Ledger Database. Correct options for this question is option A and option D. The answer is A, D. AWS Glue is a serverless data integration service that makes it easier to discover, prepare, move, and integrate data from multiple sources for analytics, machine learning, and application development. Amazon QuickSight powers data-driven organizations with unified business intelligence at hyperscale. With QuickSight, all users can meet varying analytics needs from the same source of truth through modern interactive dashboards, paginated reports, embedded analytics, and natural language queries. Next question. A global company wants to migrate its third-party applications to the AWS cloud. The company wants help from a global team of experts to complete the migration faster and more reliable in accordance with AWS internal best practices. Which AWS service or resource will meet these requirements? Option A, AWS support. Option B, AWS professional services. Option C, AWS launch wizard. Option D, AWS managed services. The correct answer for this question is option B. The AWS Professional Services organization is a global team of experts that can help you realize your desired business outcomes when using the AWS cloud. We work together with your team and your chosen member of the AWS partner network to execute your enterprise cloud computing initiatives. Next question. An e-learning platform needs to run an application for 2 months each year. The application will be deployed on Amazon EC2 instances. Any application downtime during those 2 months must be avoided. Which EC2 purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost effectively? Option A, reserved instances. Option B, dedicated hosts. Option C, spot instances. Option D, on-demand instances. The correct answer is option D. On-demand instances is correct. On-demand instances are recommended for users that prefer the low cost and flexibility of EC2 without any upfront payment or long-term commitment. Applications with short-term, speaky, or unpredictable workloads that cannot be interrupted. Applications being developed or tested on EC2 for the first time. Next question. A developer wants to deploy an application quickly on AWS without manually creating the required resources. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A, Amazon EC2. Option B, AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Option C, AWS Code Build. Option D, Amazon Personalize. The right answer is option B, AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Deploy scalable web applications in minutes without the complexity of provisioning and managing underlying. Let's move on to the next one. A company is storing sensitive customer data in an Amazon S3 bucket. The company wants to protect the data from accidental deletion or overwriting. Which S3 feature should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A, S3 lifecycle rules. Option B, S3 versioning. Option C, S3 bucket policies. Option D, S3 server-side encryption. The right option is option B, S3 versioning. Versioning enabled buckets can help you recover objects from an accidental deletion or overwrite. Next question. Which AWS service provides the ability to manage infrastructure as a code? Option A, AWS Code Pipeline. Option B, AWS Code Deploy. Option C, AWS Direct Connect. Option D, AWS Cloud Formation. Correct answer is option D. AWS Cloud Formation lets you model, provision, and manage AWS and third-party resources by treating infrastructure as code. Next question. An online gaming company needs to choose a purchasing option to run its Amazon EC2 instances for 1 year. The web traffic is consistent and any increases in traffic are predictable. The EC2 instances must be online and available without any disruption. Which EC2 instance purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost effectively? Option A, on-demand instances. Option B, reserved instances. Option C, spot instances. Option D, spot fleet. The right option for this question is option B. Amazon EC2 reserved instances provide a significant discount up to 72% compared to on-demand pricing and provide a capacity reservation when used in a specific availability zone. Which option is a customer responsibility when using Amazon DynamoDB under the AWS Shared Responsibility model? Option A, physical security of DynamoDB. Option B, patching of DynamoDB. Option C, access to DynamoDB tables. Option D, encryption of data at rest in DynamoDB. If you are new to my channel, subscribe for more practice and previous exam questions. So the correct answer for this question is option C, access to DynamoDB tables. Customers must define and manage access permissions to their DynamoDB tables using AWS identity and access management roles, policies, and security measures. AWS is responsible for maintaining the physical security and infrastructure, including patching and data encryption mechanisms for services like DynamoDB. Next question. According to security best practices, how should an Amazon EC2 instance be given access to an Amazon S3 bucket? Options. Option A. Hardcode an IAM user's secret key and access key directly in the application and upload the file. Option B. Store the IAM user's secret key and access key in a text file on the EC2 instance, read the keys, then upload the file. Option C. Have the EC2 instance assume a role to obtain the privileges to upload the file. Option D. Modify the S3 bucket policy so that any service can upload to it anytime. The correct answer for this question is option C. Have the EC2 instance assume a role to obtain the privileges to upload the file. This approach aligns with security best practices because it eliminates the need to hardcode or store access keys, which could potentially lead to unauthorized access if exposed. By using an IAM role, the EC2 instance can temporarily assume the required permissions to interact with the S3 bucket securely. AWS handles the generation of temporary credentials dynamically, making it both secure and efficient. Next question. A company has a centralized group of users with large file storage requirements that have exceeded the space available on premises. The company wants to extend its file storage capabilities for this group while retaining the performance benefits of sharing content locally. What is the most operationally efficient AWS solution for this scenario? Option A. Create an Amazon S3 bucket for each user. Mount each bucket by using an S3 file system mounting utility. Option B. Configure and deploy an AWS storage gateway file gateway. Connect each user's workstation to the file gateway. Option C. Move each user's working environment to Amazon Workspaces. Set up an Amazon WorkDoc account for each user. Option D. Deploy an Amazon EC2 instance and attach an Amazon Elastic Block Store provisioned IOPS volume. Share the EBS volume directly with the users. The correct answer for this question is option B. Configure and deploy an AWS storage gateway file gateway. Connect each user's workstation to the file gateway. The file gateway acts as a seamless extension of on-premises file storage into AWS Cloud Storage. It provides local caching and integrates with the Amazon S3 for scalable and durable file storage. This solution ensures users retain the performance benefit of accessing shared content locally while extending the storage capacity effectively. It is specifically designed for such hybrid storage needs. Next question. A company has deployed applications on Amazon EC2 instances. The company needs to assess application vulnerabilities and must identify infrastructure deployments that do not meet best practices. Which AWS service can the company use to meet these requirements? Option A. AWS Trusted Advisor. Option B. Amazon Inspector. Option C. AWS Config. Option D. Amazon Guard Duty. The correct answer is option B. Amazon Inspector. Amazon Inspector is a security assessment service that helps you identify vulnerabilities and deviations from security best practices in your application environments, including EC2 instances. It evaluates the security of your infrastructure, deployments, and provides detailed findings to help you remediate issues efficiently. Let's move on to the next one. A company plans to use an Amazon Snowball Edge device to transfer files to the AWS cloud. Which activities related to Snowball Edge device are available to the company at no cost. Option A. Use of the Snowball Edge appliance for a 10-day period. Option B. The transfer of data out of Amazon S3 and to the Snowball Edge appliance. Option C. The transfer of data from the Snowball Edge appliance into Amazon S3. Option D. Daily use of the Snowball Edge appliance after 10 days. The correct answer is option C. The transfer of data from the Snowball Edge appliance into Amazon S3. AWS does not charge for transferring data from the Snowball Edge appliance into Amazon S3. However, other activities such as using the appliance beyond the 10-day period or transferring data out of Amazon S3 may incur additional costs. Next question. Which of the following are benefits of using AWS Trusted Advisor? Choose two options. Option A. Providing high performance container or orchestration. Option B. Creating and rotating encryption keys. Option C. Detecting underutilized resources to save costs. Option D. Improving security by proactively monitoring the AWS environment. Option A. Implementing enforced tagging across AWS resources. Correct answer for this question is option C. Detecting underutilized resources to save costs. Option D. Improving security by proactively monitoring the AWS environment. AWS Trusted Advisor help users optimize their cloud environment by providing recommendations to reduce costs, improve performance, enhance security, and ensure fault tolerance. Detecting underutilized resources and proactively identifying security risks are two key benefits of this service. Let's move on to the next question. Which AWS services or tools can identify right sizing opportunities for Amazon EC2 instances? Choose two options. Option A. AWS Cost Explorer. Option B. AWS Billing Conductor. Option C. Amazon Code Guru. Option D. Amazon SageMaker. Option E. AWS Compute Optimizer. The right options for this question is option A. AWS Cost Explorer. Option E. AWS Compute Optimizer. AWS Cost Explorer provides insights into cost patterns and usage, helping you identify underutilized or oversized Amazon EC2 instances, which can guide right sizing decisions. AWS Compute Optimizer gives specific recommendations for optimizing EC2 instances by analyzing resource usage and suggesting the right instance types to improve cost efficiency and performance. Next question. A company wants to run a NoSQL database on Amazon EC2 instances. Which task is the responsibility of AWS in this scenario? Option A. Update the guest operating system of the EC2 instances. Option B. Maintain high availability at the database layer. Option C. Patch the physical infrastructure that hosts the EC2 instances. Option D. Configure the security group firewall. The right answer for this question is option C. Patch the physical infrastructure that hosts the EC2 instances. Under the AWS shared responsibility model, AWS is responsible for maintaining and patching the physical infrastructure, including servers, networking, and the hardware supporting the EC2 instances. The company, however, is responsible for tasks such as updating the guest operating system, configuring security groups, and ensuring high availability at the application or database layer. Next question. A company is running and managing its own Docker environment on Amazon EC2 instances. The company wants an alternative to help manage cluster size, scheduling, and environment maintenance. Which AWS service meets these requirements? Option A. AWS Lambda. Option B. Amazon RDS. Option C. AWS Fargate. Option D. Amazon Athena. The correct answer for this question is option C. AWS Fargate. AWS Fargate is a serverless compute engine that works with Amazon ECS, which is nothing but an Elastic Container Service, and Amazon EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. It eliminates the need to manage the underlying infrastructure for your containerized applications. With Fargate, You don't need to handle tasks like cluster size management or scheduling. AWS takes care of these aspects automatically, allowing you to focus on running your applications. Next question. Which option is a perspective that includes foundational capabilities of the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework? Option A, sustainability. Option B, performance efficiency. Option C, governance. Option D, reliability. The right answer for this question is option C, governance. Governance is one of the foundational perspectives in the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework. It emphasizes the importance of processes and policies to ensure effective management and control as organizations adopt and scale their use of AWS. The governance perspective includes capabilities like risk management, compliance, and policy which AWS service or feature allows a user to establish a dedicated network connection between a company's on-premises data center and the AWS cloud. Options are option A, AWS Direct Connect, option B, VPC peering, option C, AWS VPN, option D, Amazon Route 53. If you are new to my channel, subscribe for more practice questions. So the correct answer for this question is option A. Create a dedicated network connection to AWS. The AWS Direct Connect cloud service is the shortest path to your AWS resources. While in transit, your network traffic remains on the AWS global network and never touches the public internet. Next question. Which option is a physical location of the AWS global infrastructure? Option A, AWS Data Sync. Option B, AWS Region. Option C, Amazon Connect. Option D, AWS Organization. The correct answer is option B. AWS has the concept of a region, which is a physical location around the world where we cluster data centers. We call each group of logical data centers an availability zone. Next question. Each AWS region consists of a minimum of 3 isolated and physically separate AZs with a geographic area. Next question. A company wants to protect its AWS cloud information, systems, and assets while performing risk assessment and mitigation tasks. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework is supported by these goals? Options are option A, reliability, option B, security, option C, operational excellence, option D, performance efficiency. The correct option is option B, security. Security for infrastructure protection and data protection. Next question. What is the purpose of having an internet gateway within a VPC? Options are option A, to create a VPN connection to the VPC. Option B, to allow communication between the VPC and the internet. Option C, to impose bandwidth constraints on internet traffic. Option D, to load balance traffic from the internet across Amazon EC2 instances. The correct option is option B. An internet gateway is a horizontally scaled, redundant, and highly available VPC component that allows communication between your VPC and the internet. Next question. A company is running a monolithic on-premises application that does not scale and is difficult to maintain. The company has a plan to migrate the application to AWS and divide the application into microservices. Which best practice of the AWS well-architected framework is the company following with this plan? Option A, integrate functional testing as part of AWS deployment. Option B, use automation to deploy changes. Option C, deploy the application to multiple locations. Option D, implement loosely coupled dependencies. The right option is option D. Dependencies such as queuing systems, streaming systems, workflows, and load balancers are loosely coupled. Loose coupling helps isolate behavior of a component from other components that depend on it. increasing resiliency and agility. Next question. A company has an AWS account. The company wants to audit its password and access key rotation details for compliance purposes. Which AWS service or tool will meet this requirement? Options are option A, IAM Access Analyzer, option B, AWS Artifact, option C, IAM Credential Report, option D, AWS Audit Manager. The correct answer is option C. You can use credential reports to assist in your auditing and compliance efforts. You can use the report to audit the effects of credential lifecycle requirements such as password and access key. Next question. A company wants to receive a notification when a specific AWS cost threshold is reached. Which AWS services or tools can the company use to meet this requirement? Choose two options. Options are option A, Amazon Simple Queue Service, option B, AWS Budgets, option C, Cost Explorer, option D, Amazon CloudWatch, option E, AWS Cost and Usage Report. The correct answer for this question is option B and option D. AWS Budgets. AWS Budgets is a service that allows you to set custom cost and usage budgets for your AWS resources. You can configure a budget with a specific threshold and define actions such as sending notifications when that threshold is reached. Amazon CloudWatch. Amazon CloudWatch is a monitoring service that can be used to collect and track metrics, logs, and events from various AWS resources. It supports setting up alarms based on cost metrics, so you can create an alarm for a specific cost threshold and configure it to send notifications when the threshold is breached. Next question. Which AWS service or resource provides answers to the most frequently asked security related questions that AWS receives from its users? Options are option A, AWS Artifact, option B, Amazon Connect, option C, AWS Chatbot, option D, AWS Knowledge Center. The correct answer is option D. Option D is correct. Key service or resource provides answers to the most frequently asked security related questions. The correct answer is the official Knowledge Center articles and videos covering the most frequent questions and requests that we receive from AWS customers. So the right answer is option D, AWS Knowledge Center. Next question. Which tasks are customer responsibilities according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Choose two options. Options are option A, configure the AWS provided security group firewall, option B, classify company assets in the AWS cloud, option C, determine which availability zones to use for Amazon S3 buckets, option D, patch or upgrade Amazon DynamoDB, option E, select Amazon EC2 instances to run AWS Lambda on. The right options are option A and option B. Configure the AWS provided security group firewall. Option B, classify company assets in the AWS cloud. Next question. Which of the following are pillars of the AWS well-architected frameworks? Choose two options. Options are option A, availability, option B, reliability, option C, scalability, option D, responsive design, option E, operational excellence. The right options for this question is option B and option E. AWS well-architected helps cloud architects build secure, high-performing, resilient, and efficient infrastructure for a variety of applications and workloads built around 6 pillars: operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost optimization, and sustainability. Which AWS service or feature is used to send both text and email messages from distributed applications? Option A, Amazon Simple Notification Service. Option B, Amazon Simple Email Service. Option C, Amazon CloudWatch Alerts. Option D, Amazon Simple Queue Service. If you are new to my channel, subscribe for more practice questions and latest dumps. The correct answer for this question is option A. Amazon Simple Notification Service sends notification two ways, A to A and A to P. A to A provides high throughput push-based many-to-many messaging between distributed systems, microservices, and event-driven serverless applications. These applications include Amazon Simple Queue Service, Amazon Kinesis Data Warehouse, AWS Lambda, and other HTTPS endpoints. A2P functionality lets you send messages to your customers with SMS text, push notifications, and email. Next question. A user needs to programmatic access to AWS resources through the AWS CLI or the AWS API. Which option will provide the user with the appropriate access? Option A, Amazon Inspector. Option B, Access Keys. Option C, SSH Public Keys. Option D, AWS Key Management Service. Correct answer is option B. Access keys are long-term credentials for an IAM user or the AWS account root user. You can access keys to sign programmatic requests to the AWS CLI or AWS API directly or using the AWS SDK. Next question. A company runs thousands of simultaneous simulations using AWS Batch. Each simulation is stateless, is fault tolerant, and runs for up to 3 hours. Which pricing model enables the company to optimize costs and meet these requirements? Option A, reserved instances. Option B, spot instances. Option C, on-demand instances. Option D, dedicated instances. Correct answer for this question is option B. Spot instances are a good fit for stateless, fault-tolerant workloads that can be interrupted without any impact on the overall job. Next question. What does the concept of agility mean in AWS cloud computing? Choose two options. Option A, the speed at which AWS resources are implemented. Option B, the speed at which AWS creates new AWS regions. Option C, the ability to experiment quickly. Option D, the elimination of wasted capacity. Option E, the low cost of entry into cloud computing. The correct options are option A and option C, the speed at which AWS resources are implemented and the ability to experiment quickly. Let's move on to the next question. A company needs to block SQL injection attacks. Which AWS service or feature can meet this requirement? Option A, AWS WAF. Option B, AWS Shield. Option C, Network ACLs. Option D, Security Groups. The right option is option A, AWS WAF. Helps you protect against common web exploits and bots that can affect availability, compromise security, or consume excessive resources. Let's move on to the next question. Which AWS service or feature identifies whether an Amazon S3 bucket or an IAM role has been shared with an external entity? Option A, AWS Service Catalog. Option B, AWS Systems Manager. Option C, AWS IAM Access Analyzer. Option D, AWS Organizations. Right answer is option C. IAM Access Analyzer helps identify resources in your organization and accounts that are shared with an external entity. Next question. A cloud practitioner needs to obtain AWS compliance reports before migrating an environment to the AWS cloud. How can these reports be generated? Options are option A, contact the AWS compliance team. Option B, download the reports from AWS Artifact. Option C, open a case with AWS support. Option D, generate the reports with Amazon Messi. Correct answer is option B. AWS Artifact is a portal that provides access to various compliance reports, including certifications, attestations, and other relevant documents. You can download these reports directly from AWS Artifact. Next one. An e-commerce company has migrated its IT infrastructure from an on-premises data center to the AWS cloud. Which cost is the company's direct responsibility? Option A, cost of application software licenses. Option B, cost of the hardware infrastructure on AWS. Option C, cost of power for the AWS servers. Option D, cost of physical security for the AWS data center. The right option is option A, cost of application software licenses. Next question. A company is setting up AWS identity and access management on an AWS account. Which recommendation complies with IAM security best practices? Options are option A, use the account root user access keys for administrative tasks. Option B, grant broad permissions so that all company employees can access the resources they need. Option C, turn on multi-factor authentication, which is nothing but a MFA for added security during the login process. Option D, avoid rotating credentials to prevent issues in production applications. Correct answer is option C. Turn on multi-factor authentication (MFA) for added security during the login process. Enabling multi-factor authentication for user accounts, especially for users with administrative or high privilege access, is a crucial security best practice. MFA adds an additional layer of security by requiring users to provide two or more verification factors, typically something they know, like a password, and something they have, like a temporary MFA code from a hardware, token, or mobile app before gaining access. This significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized access even if login credentials are compromised. Next question. Elasticity in the AWS cloud refers to which of the following? Choose two options. The options are option A, how quickly an Amazon EC2 instance can be restarted. Option B, the ability to right size resources as demand shifts. Option C, the maximum amount of RAM an Amazon EC2 instance can use. Option D, the pay as you go billing model. Option E, how easily resources can be procured when they are needed. The right options are option B and option E. Which option is a customer responsibility when using Amazon DynamoDB under the AWS shared responsibility model? Options are option A, physical security of DynamoDB. Option B, patching of DynamoDB. Option C, access to DynamoDB tables. Option D, encryption of data at rest in DynamoDB. The correct answer is option C, access to DynamoDB tables. Under the AWS shared responsibility model, AWS takes care of the security of the cloud. This includes managing the infrastructure, physical security, and service maintenance. Meanwhile, customers are responsible for security in the cloud, which involves managing access permissions and data protection, since access control to DynamoDB tables falls under customer responsibility, ensuring that appropriate IAM policies and role based access controls are in place. Next question. Which option is a perspective that includes foundational capabilities of the AWS Cloud Adaptation Framework? The options are option A, sustainability, option B, performance efficiency, option C, governance, option D, reliability. The correct answer is option C, governance, because the AWS Cloud Adaptation Framework is designed to help organizations navigate cloud adoption by guiding them through six key perspectives: business, people, governance, platform, security, and operations. The governance perspective focuses on managing and optimizing cloud investments, ensuring compliance, risk management, and aligning cloud strategies with business objectives. Next question. A company is running and managing its own Docker environment on Amazon EC2 instances. The company wants an alternative to help manage cluster size, scheduling, and environment maintenance. Which AWS service meets these requirements? The options are: option A, AWS Lambda; option B, Amazon RDS; option C, AWS Fargate; option D, Amazon Athena. The correct answer is option C, AWS Fargate. AWS Fargate is a serverless compute engine designed for running containers without managing the underlying infrastructure. It automates cluster scaling, scheduling, and environment maintenance, making it an ideal choice for organizations seeking an alternative to managing Docker environments manually on Amazon EC2 instances. By using AWS Fargate, companies can focus on deploying applications rather than maintaining servers, leading to improved efficiency and reduced operational overhead. Next question. A company plans to use an Amazon Snowball Edge device to transfer files to the AWS cloud. Which activities related to a Snowball Edge device are available to the company at no cost? The options are: option A, use of the Snowball Edge appliance for a 10-day period; option B, the transfer of data out of Amazon S3 and to the Snowball Edge appliance; option C, the transfer of data from the Snowball Edge appliance into Amazon S3; option D, daily use of the Snowball Edge appliance after 10 days. The correct answer is option C. AWS does not charge for importing data from a Snowball Edge device into Amazon S3, making it a cost-effective method for large-scale data migration. However, using the Snowball Edge appliance beyond the initial 10-day period incurs additional costs, and data transfer out of Amazon S3 typically has associated fees. Next question. A company has deployed applications on Amazon EC2 instances. The company needs to assess application vulnerabilities and must identify infrastructure deployments that do not meet best practices. Which AWS service can the company use to meet these requirements? The options are: option A, AWS Trusted Advisor; option B, Amazon Inspector; option C, AWS Config; option D, Amazon Guard Duty. The correct answer is option B, Amazon Inspector. Amazon Inspector is an automated security assessment service that helps identify vulnerabilities in applications deployed on Amazon EC2 instances. It assesses software configurations and security best practices, providing detailed reports on potential risks. This makes it the best choice for analyzing application vulnerabilities and infrastructure security. Next question. A company is storing data that will not be frequently accessed in the AWS cloud. If the company needs to access the data needs to be retrieved within 12 hours. The company wants a solution that is cost effective for storage costs for each gigabyte. Which Amazon S3 storage class will meet these requirements? The options are: option A, S3 standard; option B, S3 Glacier Flexible Retrieval. Option C S3 One Zone Infrequent Access. Option D S3 Standard Infrequent Access. The correct answer is option B. S3 Glacier Flexible Retrieval is designed for long-term archival storage with infrequent access. It offers cost-effective storage while allowing retrieval within 12 hours or less, making it the best fit for this scenario. It provides options for expedited, standard and bulk retrievals, with bulk retrievals typically completing within 5 to 12 hours. Next question. Which abilities or benefits of the AWS cloud? Choose two options. The options are: option A, trade variable expenses for capital expenses. Option B, deploy globally in minutes. Option C, plan capacity in advance of deployments. Option D, take advantage of economies of scale. Option E, reduce dependencies on network connectivity. The right options are option B and option D. Deploy globally in minutes. AWS enables rapid global deployment by offering cloud based infrastructure that eliminates the need for physical provisioning, allowing businesses to scale across different regions quickly. Take advantage of economies of scale. AWS operates at a massive scale, which allows it to reduce costs for customers compared to traditional on premises infrastructure. This means lower costs for computing, storage, and networking. Next question. A company needs to plan, schedule, and run hundreds of thousands of computing jobs on AWS. Which AWS service can the company use to meet this requirement? The options are: option A, AWS Step Functions. Option B, AWS Service Catalog. Option C, Amazon Simple Queue Service. Option D, AWS Batch. The correct answer is option D, AWS Batch. AWS Batch, fully managed batch processing at any scale, efficiently run 1 lakhs of computing batch jobs on AWS. A batch job is a job with a start and an end. Batch will dynamically launch EC2 instances or spot instances. AWS batch provisions the right amount of compute or memory. Next question. Which AWS services or features provide high availability and low latency by enabling failover across different AWS regions? Choose two options. The options are: option A, Amazon Route 53. Option B, Network Load Balancer. Option C, Amazon S3 Transfer Acceleration. Option D, AWS Global Accelerator. Option E, Application Load Balancer. The right options are option A and option D. Amazon Route 53 is a highly available and scalable DNS service that enables failover by routing traffic to different AWS regions based on health checks and routing policies. This helps improve availability and resilience. AWS Global Accelerator enhances the performance and availability of applications by routing traffic through the AWS Global Network to the closest healthy endpoint across multiple AWS regions. It reduces latency and ensures failover protection. Next question. Which of the following is a way to use Amazon EC2 auto scaling groups to scale capacity in the AWS cloud? Option A, scale the number of EC2 instances in or out automatically based on demand. Option B, use serverless EC2 instances. Option C, scale the size of EC2 instances up or down automatically based on demand. Option D, transfer unused CPU resources between EC2 instances. The correct answer is option A, Amazon EC2 auto scaling groups allow you to dynamically adjust the number of EC2 instances based on demand, ensuring optimal resource utilization and cost efficiency. This helps maintain application performance and availability while automatically scaling the infrastructure as needed. Next question. A company has a centralized group of users with large file storage requirements that have exceeded the space available on premises. The company wants to extend its file storage capabilities for this group while retaining the performance benefit of sharing content locally. What is the most operationally efficient AWS solution for this scenario? Option A. Create an Amazon S3 bucket for each user. Mount each bucket by using an S3 file system mounting utility. Option B. Configure and deploy an AWS storage gateway, file gateway. Connect each user's workstation to the file gateway. Option C. Move each user's working environment to Amazon Workspaces. Set up an Amazon Documents account for each user. Option D. Deploy an Amazon EC2 instance and attach an Amazon Elastic Block Store. Provisioned IOPS volume. Share the EBS volume directly with the users. The correct answer is option B. AWS Storage Gateway enables on-premises applications to access cloud-backed file storage with local caching for performance benefits. This solution allows users to extend their storage capacity while retaining the fast access of shared local files, making it the most operationally efficient option for this scenario. Let's move on to the next one. A company wants to run a NoSQL database on Amazon EC2 instances. Which task is the responsibility of AWS in this scenario? Option A. Update the guest operating system of the EC2 instances. Option B. Maintain high availability at the database layer. Option C. Patch the physical infrastructure that hosts the EC2 instances. Option D. Configure the security group firewall. The correct answer is option C. Under the AWS shared responsibility model, AWS is responsible for maintaining the security of the cloud, which includes the physical infrastructure, network, and hardware hosting the EC2 instances. Customers, on the other hand, are responsible for managing security in the cloud, such as configuring security groups, updating operating systems, and ensuring database availability. Next question. A company needs to engage third-party consultants to help maintain and support its AWS environment and the company's business needs. Which AWS service or resource will meet these requirements? Option A. AWS support. Option B. AWS organizations. Option C. AWS service catalog. Option D. AWS partner network. The correct answer is option D. AWS partner network. AWS Partner Network connects companies with third-party consultants, technology providers, and system integrators who specialize in AWS solutions. These partners can help maintain and support an AWS environment, provide expert guidance, and assist with business needs. Next question. A company is planning to move data backups to the AWS cloud. A company needs to replace on-premises storage with storage that is cloud-based but locally cached. Which AWS service meet these requirements? Option A. AWS Storage Gateway. Option B. AWS Snowcone. Option C. AWS Backup. Option D. Amazon Elastic File System. The correct answer is option A. AWS Storage Gateway. AWS Storage Gateway is a service that connects an on-premises software appliance with cloud-based storage to provide seamless and secure integration between an organization's on-premises IT environment and AWS's storage infrastructure. It allows the company to store data backups in the cloud while caching a copy locally for low latency access. Next question. Which AWS services or tools can identify right sizing opportunities for Amazon EC2 instances? Choose two options. Option A, AWS Cost Explorer. Option B, AWS Conductor. Option C, Amazon Code Guru. Option D, Amazon SageMaker. Option E, AWS Compute Optimizer. The right options are option A and option E. First, AWS Cost Explorer helps users analyze their Amazon EC2 usage patterns to identify cost saving opportunities, including right sizing recommendations based on utilization trends. AWS Compute Optimizer provides detailed EC2 instance recommendations, leveraging machine learning to suggest optimal instance types that improve performance and reduce costs. These tools work together to ensure efficient resource utilization while optimizing costs. Next question. According to security best practices, how should an Amazon EC2 instance be given access to an Amazon S3 bucket? Option A, hardcode an IAM user's secret key and access key directly in the application and upload the file. Option B, store the IAM user's secret key and access key in a text file on the EC2 instance, read the keys, then upload the file. Option C, have the EC2 instance assume a role to obtain the privileges to upload the file. Option D, modify the S3 bucket policy so that any service can upload to it at any time. The right option is option C. Using IAM roles for Amazon EC2 is the best practice because it eliminates the need to hard code credentials, reducing security risks. The EC2 instance assumes that IAM role, which grants the necessary permissions dynamically without exposing access keys. Next question. A company wants to create Amazon QuickSight dashboards every week by using its billing data. Which AWS feature or tool can the company use to meet these requirements? The options are option A, AWS Budgets, option B, AWS Cost Explorer, option C, AWS Cost and Usage Report, option D, AWS Cost Anomaly Detection. The correct answer is option C. AWS Cost and Usage Report provides detailed billing data including usage and cost breakdowns which can be used to generate Amazon QuickSight dashboards. The company can process the CUR data, store it in Amazon S3 and visualize it in QuickSight for deeper insights into spending trends. Next question. Which AWS service or resource can be used to identify services that have been used by a user within a specified date range? Option A, Amazon S3 Access Control Lists. Option B, AWS Certificate Manager. Option C, Network Access Analyzer. Option D, AWS Identity and Access Management Access Analyzer. The correct option is option D. IAM Access Analyzer helps monitor and analyze permissions within AWS accounts, providing insights into which services have been accessed by users. It allows organizations to audit user activity and track services used within a specified date range. Next question. Please ignore the background noises. Which of the following are benefits of using AWS Trusted Advisor? Choose two options. Option A, providing high performance container orchestration. Option B, creating and rotating encryption keys. Option C, detecting underutilized resources to save costs. Option D, improving security by proactively monitoring the AWS environment. Option E, implementing enforced tagging across AWS resources. The correct answer is option C and option D. AWS Trusted Advisor is a tool that provides insights and recommendations to help users optimize their AWS infrastructure in areas such as cost optimization, security, performance, fault tolerance, and service limits, detecting underutilized resources to save costs. Trusted advisor helps identify unused or underutilized resources, allowing organizations to reduce expenses by right sizing their infrastructure, improving security by proactively monitoring the AWS environment. Trusted advisor offers security related recommendations such as enabling multi factor authentication or addressing publicly accessible resources to enhance cloud security. Next question: which AWS security service protects applications from distributed denial of service attacks with always on detection and automatic inline mitigations? The options are: option A, Amazon Inspector; option B, AWS Web Application Firewall; option C, Elastic Load Balancing; option D, AWS Shield. The correct answer is option D, AWS Shield. AWS Shield is a managed distributed denial of service protection service that safeguards applications running on AWS. It provides always on detection and automatic inline mitigations to protect against large scale attacks, ensuring high availability and performance of applications. Next question: a company needs to organize its resources and track AWS costs on a detailed level. The company needs to categorize costs by business department, environment, and application. Which solution will meet these requirements? Option A, access the AWS cost management console to organize resources, set an AWS budget, and receive notifications of unintentional usage. Option B, use tags to organize the resources, activate cost allocation tags to track AWS costs on a detailed level. Option C, create Amazon CloudWatch dashboards to visually organize and track cost individually. Option D, access the AWS billing and cost management dashboard to organize and track resource consumption on a detailed level. The correct answer is option A. Next question: a user has a stateful workload that will run on Amazon EC2 for the next 3 years. What is the most cost effective pricing model for this workload? Option A, on demand instances; option B, reserved instances; option C, dedicated instances; option D, spot instances. The correct answer is option B, reserved instances, because reserved instances provide significant cost savings compared to on demand pricing. By committing to a 1 year or 3 year term, users can benefit from discounted rates, making them ideal for predictable and long term workloads. Next question: which of the following acts as an instance level firewall to control inbound and outbound access? Option A, network access control list; option B, security groups; option C, AWS trusted advisor; option D, virtual private gateways. The correct answer is option B. Security groups in AWS access instance level firewalls, controlling inbound and outbound traffic for EC2 instances. They function as stateful firewalls, meaning that if you allow inbound traffic, the corresponding outbound response is automatically allowed. Next question: a company hosts a large amount of data in AWS. The company wants to identify if any of the data should be considered sensitive. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A, Amazon Inspector; option B, Amazon Messi; option C, AWS Identity and Access Management; option D, Amazon CloudWatch. The correct answer is option B, Amazon Messi. Amazon Messi is a fully managed data security and privacy service that uses machine learning to discover, classify, and protect sensitive data in AWS. It helps identify personally identifiable information, financial data, and other sensitive content, stored in Amazon S3 buckets, making it the ideal service for this requirement. Next question. Which AWS service allows users to model and provision AWS resources using common programming languages? Option A, AWS Cloud Formation. Option B, AWS Code Pipeline. Option C, AWS Cloud Development Kit. Option D, AWS Systems Manager. The correct answer is option C, AWS CDK. AWS CDK allows users to define cloud infrastructure using familiar programming languages like Python, TypeScript, Java, and more. It simplifies the process of modeling, provisioning, and deploying AWS resources by using high-level constructs. Next question. Which cloud concept is demonstrated by using AWS Compute Optimizer? Option A, security validation. Option B, right sizing. Option C, elasticity. Option D, global reach. The right answer is option B, right sizing. AWS Compute Optimizer helps users analyze their AWS workloads and provides recommendations for optimizing compute resources. It ensures that instances are properly sized based on usage patterns, preventing over provisioning or underutilization, which directly aligns with the concept of right sizing, optimizing resource allocation to improve efficiency and reduce costs. Next one. Which Amazon EC2 instance pricing model can provide discounts of up to 90%? Option A, reserved instances. Option B, on demand instances. Option C, dedicated hosts. Option D, spot instances. The correct answer is option D, spot instances. Spot instances allow users to bid for unused Amazon EC2 capacity at deep discounts up to 90% off. Compared to on-demand pricing, these instances are ideal for workloads that are flexible and fault tolerant, such as batch processing, big data analysis, and containerized applications. Next question. A company has teams that have different job roles and responsibilities. The company's employees often change teams. The company needs to manage permissions for the employees so that the permissions are appropriate for the job responsibilities. Which IAM resource should the company use to meet this requirement with the least operational overhead? Option A, IAM user groups. Option B, IAM roles. Option C, IAM instance profiles. Option D, IAM policies for individual users. The correct answer is option B, IAM roles. IAM roles allows users to assume different permissions dynamically based on their current job responsibilities without the need to modify individual user policies frequently. Since employees often change teams, IAM roles ensure that they receive appropriate access only while they are in that role. This improves security and simplifies administration. Next one. A company is hosting an application in the AWS cloud. The company wants to verify that underlying AWS services and general AWS infrastructure are operating normally. Which combination of AWS services can the company use to gather the required information? Choose two options. Option A, AWS Personal Health Dashboard. Option B, AWS Systems Manager. Option C, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option D, AWS Service Health Dashboard. Option E, AWS Service Catalog. The right options are option A and option D. First, let's see option A. AWS Personal Health Dashboard offers real-time personalized alerts about service issues that affect a specific customers AWS resources. It helps monitor events such as service disruptions or scheduled maintenance. Next one, AWS Service Health Dashboard provides public information about the operational status of AWS services across different regions. It helps check if AWS services are experiencing outage or degraded performance. Next one. A company must be able to develop, test, and launch an application in the AWS cloud quickly. Which advantage of cloud computing will meet these requirements? Option A, stop guessing capacity. Option B, trade fixed expense for variable expense. Option C, achieve economies of scale. Option D, increase speed and agility. The correct answer is option D. Cloud computing enables companies to rapidly develop, test, and deploy applications without the delays associated with the traditional infrastructure. With AWS, developers can instantly provision resources, scale services as needed, and experiment with the new features without waiting for physical hardware setup. This flexibility accelerates innovation and enhances responsiveness to market demands. Next one. A company needs to migrate a PostgreSQL database from on premises to Amazon RDS. Which AWS service or tool should the company use to meet this requirement? Option A, Cloud Adaption Readiness Tool. Option B, AWS Migration Hub. Option C, AWS Database Migration Service. Option D, AWS Application Migration Service. The correct answer is option C. AWS DMS is specifically designed to migrate databases from on-premises environments to AWS. It supports continuous data replication with minimal downtime, making it ideal for migrating a PostgreSQL database to Amazon RDS. Next one. Which AWS service can a company use to securely store and encrypt passwords for a database? Option A, AWS Shield. Option B, AWS Secrets Manager. Option C, AWS Identity and Access Management. Option D, Amazon Cognito. The correct answer is option B, AWS Secrets Manager. AWS Secrets Manager is designed to securely store, manage, and retrieve sensitive information such as database credentials, API keys, and other secrets. It automatically encrypts stored secrets using AWS Key Management Service and allows applications to retrieve them securely without hard coding credentials. Next one. A company that has multiple business units wants to centrally manage and govern its AWS cloud environments. The company wants to automate the creation of AWS accounts, apply service control policies, and simplify billing processes. Which AWS service or tool should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Organizations. Option B, Cost Explorer. Option C, AWS Budgets. Option D, AWS Trusted Advisor. The correct answer is option A, AWS Organizations. AWS Organizations enables business to centrally manage multiple AWS accounts, automate account creation, enforce service control policies, and streamline billing under a single payment method. It provides robust governance, security, and compliance controls for organizations with multiple business units. Next question. What can a cloud practitioner use to retrieve AWS security and compliance documents and submit them as evidence to an auditor or regulator? Option A, AWS Certificate Manager. Option B, AWS Systems Manager. Option C, AWS Artifact. Option D, Amazon Inspector. The correct answer is option C, AWS Artifact. AWS Artifact is a centralized repository that provides access to AWS security and compliance documents such as audit reports, certifications, and attestations. Cloud practitioners can use AWS Artifact to retrieve these documents and submit them as evidence to auditors or regulators. Next question. A company website is experiencing DDoS attacks. Which AWS service can help protect the company website against these attacks? Option A, AWS Resource Access Manager. Option B, AWS Amplify. Option C, AWS Shield. Option D, Amazon Guard Duty. The correct answer is option C, AWS Shield. AWS Shield is a managed distributed denial of service protection service that safeguards applications running on AWS. It provides always on detection and automatic inline mitigations to protect against large scale attacks, ensuring high availability and performance of web applications. I think this question repeated. Okay, next question. Which encryption types can be used to protect objects at rest in Amazon S3? Choose two options. Option A, server side encryption with Amazon S3 managed encryption keys. Option B, server side encryption with AWS KMS managed keys. Option C, TLS. Option D, SSL. Option E, transparent data encryption. The right options are option A and option B. First one, let's see. SSE 3, that means S3 automatically encrypts objects using AES 256 encryption and manages the encryption keys for users. SSE KMS uses AWS Key Management Service for key management, allowing additional control over key permissions and access auditing. Next question. A customer runs an on-demand Amazon Linux EC2 instance for 3 hours, 5 minutes and 6 seconds. For how much time will the customer be billed? Option A, 3 hours, 5 minutes. Option B, 3 hours, 5 minutes and 6 seconds. Option C, 3 hours, 6 minutes. Option D, 4 hours. The correct answer is option C, 3 hours, 6 minutes. I think answer for this question is option B, 3 hours 5 minutes and 6 seconds, or option A. Either it is option A or option B. Please let me know in the comment section. So here, okay, next question. A company wants to integrate its online shopping website with social media login credentials. Which AWS service can the company use to make this integration? Option A, AWS Directory Service. Option B, AWS Identity and Access Management. Option C, Amazon Cognito. Option D, AWS IAM Identity Center. The correct answer for this question is option C, Amazon Cognito. Amazon Cognito allows companies to integrate user authentication with social media login credentials such as Google, Facebook, and Apple. For their web and mobile application, it enables seamless sign-in experiences, user pool management, and authentication flows, making it the ideal service for integrating third-party identity providers. Next one. A company wants a customized assessment of its current on-premises environment. The company wants to understand its projected running costs in the AWS cloud. Which AWS service or tool will meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option B, Amazon Inspector. Option C, AWS Control Tower. Option D, Migration Evaluator. The right answer for this question is option D, Migration Evaluator. Migration Evaluator helps companies assess their current on-premises environment and provides insights into the projected costs of running workloads in the AWS cloud. It generates detailed reports including total cost of ownership comparisons, helping businesses make informed migration decisions. Next question. Which AWS service is used to track, record, and audit configuration changes made to AWS resources? Option A, AWS Shield. Option B, AWS Config. Option C, AWS IAM. Option D, Amazon Inspector. The correct answer for this question is option B, AWS Config. AWS Config is a managed service that tracks, records, and audits configuration changes made to AWS resources over time. It helps ensure compliance, security, and governance by maintaining a detailed history of resource configurations. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please correct me if I am wrong. Let's learn together. Have a good day.